Chapter 499. The old man was none other than the master of Pill Island, venerated Pill. The elderly man did not find it strange that Ning Fan had seen through his identity. The number of 6th Revolution Pill refinement masters in Rain World could be counted with one's fingers. After he revealed his 6th Revolution medicine soul, it was not strange for them to guess his identity. Even though venerated Pill had just returned from his travels, he had heard of Ning Fan's name in many places in the Rain World. Now that he saw Ning Fan in person, venerated Pill finally felt that seeing him for himself was better than hearing about him 100 times. As a 6th Revolution Pill master, venerated Dan could be considered as a famous figure in the Rain World. Even though he had yet to break through to the Void Refinement Realm, his status was more respected than many Void Refinement Realm experts in the Rain World. Moreover, because he had traveled around the world, his experience was far greater than that of ordinary people. He could be considered as having seen many Void Refinement Realm experts in the Rain World. However, after sensing Ning Fan's powerful qi, he was still filled with emotions. Among all the Void Refinement Realm experts he knew, there was actually no Void Glimpse stage or Void Inquiry stage old monsters whose qi was stronger than his. When he looked behind Ning Fan again, he saw that Su Yan had already kept the silver boat and the 12-horned dragon. She was standing there like a timid and helpless little bird. This made venerated Pill even more emotional. In the entire Rain World, Su Yan was a Void Inquiry stage expert who had a great reputation. However, she chose to follow Ning Fan. The moment I returned to the Pill Island, I received a rumor saying that the Venerable One suppressed the Mist-Horn Devil clan with his own strength. Initially, I didn't believe it. Now, it seems like revered Ming's means are so powerful that I'm afraid you are already unrivaled among Void Inquiry stage experts. This old man admires you. Venerated Pill looked at Bright Sparrow and recalled the previous misunderstanding. Then he said sincerely, "My Taoist title is Dan Songzi, and I am a good friend of Dong Su. After this old man returned, I've already heard Yang Gu and the others talk about your deeds. Fellow Taoist has done the Pill Island a favor, and you're also a foreign elder of the Pill Island. If you wish to borrow the soul cleansing pond, I have no objections. I'll do my best to help you." Previously, this old man didn't know that this little girl was fellow Taoist's person, so there was some misunderstanding. I hope fellow Taoist is magnanimous enough to forgive me if I have offended you. As a 6th Revolution Pill refinement master, venerated Dan was a Void Refinement Realm expert of the Rain World. It was not inappropriate for him to address Ning Fan as fellow Taoist. Senior Dan is too polite. I've seen all the misunderstandings from before. Senior and Bright Sparrow are only having a fair competition, and you should stop when you go too far. Let's drop this matter and not mention it again. The reason why Ning Fan addressed venerated Pill as senior was not only because venerated Pill refinement realm was at the 6th Revolution, but also because venerated Pill had some friendly relations with the Pill Sovereign according to rumors. In terms of the Tao of Pills, venerated Pill's Pill refinement mastery and seniority were higher than Ning Fan's. Thus, there was no harm in treating him as a senior. Venerated Pill was taken aback at first. Then he shook his head and laughed. "There's no need for you to address me as your senior. Just like you and Dong Su, you can treat each other as equals. My Pill refinement mastery has reached the low-grade 6th Revolution, and I am ranked 7th in the Rain Immortal world. It is said that your Pill refinement mastery is at the peak of the 5th Revolution, and you are even given the title of the 8th Pill refinement master in the Rain Immortal world. This time, you are here to borrow the soul washing pond. You might have a chance to break through to the 6th Revolution in one go. You don't have to address me as senior. It is extremely difficult to advance my Pill refinement mastery to the 6th Revolution. I don't have much confidence in breaking through to the 6th Revolution in one go. However, since senior insists on treating me as an equal, I will be so bold as to address senior as fellow Taoist. Fellow Taoist Dan, may I ask if the soul cleansing pond is ready and when can I enter it?" The soul cleansing pond has already been unsealed to the 4th level. In another 10 days, it will reach the 6th level. Fellow Taoist will have to wait for at least another 10 days before you can enter the pond. Venerated Pill explained. The 4th level? The 6th level? Ning Fan did not know much about the soul cleansing pond. Thus, he did not know that there were different levels in the pond. It's my negligence. Fellow Taoist, please take a look at this jade slip. It contains a detailed introduction about the soul cleansing pond. Venerated Pill took out a jade slip and passed it to Ning Fan. Ning Fan scanned the jade slip with his spirit sense and imprinted the information within it into his mind. The soul cleansing pond of the Pill Island possessed a special power that could nourish the medicine soul of a pill refinement master. It was called soul bathing light. The strength of the soul bathing light varied according to the depth of the pond. The Pill Island had set up seals within the pond and divided it into 7 levels. In the first level, the soul bathing light was the weakest. It was usually used by peak 4th revolution pill refinement masters to break through to the 5th revolution. The second level could improve the medicine soul of a low-grade 5th revolution pill refinement master. The 3rd, 4th and 5th levels were prepared for mid-grade, high-grade and peak-grade 5th revolution pill refinement masters to temper their medicine soul. If he wanted to break through to the 6th revolution pill refinement realm, it would be best for him to enter the 6th level to temper his medicine soul. The 7th level was the deepest part of the soul washing pool. The soul bathing light there was terrifyingly powerful. Normally, only mid-6th revolution pill refinement masters could withstand this level of soul bathing light. Even Venerated Pill himself did not dare to temper his medicine soul on the 7th level. I see. Ning Fan returned the jade slip to Venerated Pill and remained silent for a while. Now that the 4th level of the soul washing pool had been unsealed, a 5th revolution high-grade pill refinement master could enter and cultivate there. However, the 4th level of the soul bathing light did not have much of an effect on his medicine soul. In order to improve the level of his medicine soul with the help of the soul bathing light in the soul washing pond, Ning Fan had to at least enter the 5th level. If he wanted to break through to the 6th revolution in one go, then entering the 6th level was the best choice. Considering that only true 6th revolution pill refinement masters could enter the 6th floor, Ning Fan probably needed to prepare some pills to protect his body before he could enter the 6th floor with his current medicine soul. It seems like I will have to stay on the Pill Island for 10 days. Ning Fan said. Fellow Taoist is a guest elder of my Pill Island after all. Just relax and stay on the island for 10 days. I will ask Huang Tingzi, Yonggu and the others to prepare some pills and spiritual equipment for fellow Taoists to use to protect yourself when you enter the 6th level of the soul washing pond. During the days when fellow Taoist stays on the Pill Island, you can enter any library of the island and read any ancient records of pill recipes at will. If you have a pill recipe that you like, you can just make a copy of it. No one will stop you. Besides that, if fellow Taoist wants to know more about your experience in breaking through to the 6th revolution pill refinement realm, you can come and look for me at any time. I certainly won't hide anything from you. Venerated Pill's tone was extremely easygoing. It was as if he had tacitly allowed Ning Fan to do anything on the Pill Island. However, Venerated Pill seemed to have thought of something. His eyes were filled with eagerness. I would like to exchange pointers on my medicine soul combat techniques with fellow Taoist. I wonder if fellow Taoist is willing to do so? Exchange pointers? Ning Fan was slightly surprised. That's right. Fellow Taoist should have seen the soul-transforming dragon technique that I displayed just now. This technique is a battle soul technique that I obtained from the ruins of an ancient cultivator. Now I have reached a bottleneck in my cultivation of this technique, and I need to exchange pointers with someone else in order to break through the bottleneck. I heard that you have learned the Pill Sovereign's battle soul technique. That's why I want to exchange pointers with you. Of course, I won't go overboard. Of course, if fellow Taoist is unwilling to exchange pointers, I won't force you. It doesn't matter. Since this will help fellow Taoist Dan break through the bottleneck of his battle soul, I am willing to exchange pointers with Senior. Please. As soon as Ning Fan said please, he immediately distanced himself from Venerated Pill. As for the others, they immediately retreated far away. Exchanging pointers with Venerated Pill and helping him break through the bottleneck of his battle soul was almost like giving Venerated Pill a free favor. Ning Fan naturally would not reject it. As for Ningfan, he also wanted to see how far his medicine soul was from that of a low-grade 6th revolution pill refinement realm expert. Theoretically, the strength of Ningfan's medicine soul had already reached the low-grade 6th revolution. The reason why he had yet to break through to the 6th revolution was because he lacked a helping hand to do so. On the way to the Pill Island, Ningfan repeatedly studied the heavenly dipper palm imprint that the Pill Sovereign had imparted to him. Gradually he gained some insights. He even integrated the 108 movements of the Execution Devil Palm into the Heavenly Dipper imprint. On the basis of the 36 movements of the Heavenly Dipper imprint, he created 3 movements of the Earth-Killing Palm. All of them were borrowed from the Execution Devil Palm. Currently, the Medicine Soul Palm imprint that Ningfan knew had a total of 39 movements. It was 3 more than what the Pill Sovereign had imparted to him. Exchanging pointers with Venerated Pill today was also an opportunity for him to try out his new techniques. As soon as they heard that Ningfan was going to compete with Venerated Pill in Battle Soul techniques, the entire Pill Island immediately became lively. Battle Soul techniques were techniques that only ancient pill refinement masters knew. Occasionally, some 6th revolution pill refinement masters would learn them. However, ordinary pill refinement masters might not even get to see it once in their entire lives. Moreover, it was extremely rare to see 2 pill refinement masters competing with each other using Battle Soul techniques at the same time. Each of the pill refinement masters watched Ningfan and Venerated Pill, who were facing each other from afar. None of them dared to make any noise in case they disturbed the competition. Most of the pill refinement masters thought that the winner of the competition would be Venerated Pill. After all, Venerated Pill was a true low-grade 6th revolution pill refinement master, while Ningfan was just a peak-grade 5th revolution pill refinement master. Elder Yang, who do you think will win between Venerated Pill and Venerated Ming? Venerated Ming is your master. You should know him very well, right? Do you think he can withstand the Battle Soul attack of Venerated Pill? Huang Tingzi transmitted his voice to Yanggu, who was beside him. Venerated Pill's pill refinement realm has reached the 6th revolution. This is a fact that everyone in the Rain world knows. In terms of the level of his medicine soul, he is naturally higher than my master. However, every time my master does something, he always surprises everyone. In the eyes of others, my master might not be able to withstand the Battle Soul attack of Venerated Pill. However, in my opinion, even if my master withstands the attack of Venerated Pill, it won't be strange at all for him to surpass Venerated Pill. There's nothing strange about him even surpassing Venerated Dan. Yanggu, on the other hand, was full of confidence in Ningfan. Oh, fellow Taoist Yang actually thinks that Venerated Ming has a chance of winning? Huang Tingzi shook his head disapprovingly. It was not that he was underestimating Ningfan. In fact, Huang Tingzi also admired Ningfan's pill refinement skills very much. He even regarded Ningfan as the 8th pill refinement master in the Rain world. However, no matter what, it was a fact that Ningfan had yet to attain the 6th revolution pill refinement realm. Huang Tingzi did not think that a 5th revolution medicine soul could defeat a 6th revolution medicine soul. In his opinion, Ningfan's cultivation base was indeed astonishing. He could suppress the entire Misthorn clan and kill Void Inquiry stage cultivators. It was enough for him to dominate the Rain world. In terms of combat strength, Venerated Pill was definitely not Ningfan's match. However, in terms of the strength of his medicine soul, Ningfan was probably still weaker than Venerated Pill. Great Elder, do you want to make a bet with me? I'm willing to use a 30,000 years old flying cloud grass to bet that my master won't lose. Yanggu could not help but shake his head. He had endless confidence in Ningfan. After all, Ningfan was his master. However, he was not an idiot. He would not blindly bet on Ningfan's victory. He would only bet that Ningfan would not lose. The meaning of not losing also included a draw. Ningfan's peak-grade 5th revolution pill refinement realm might be a little heaven-defying if he could defeat Venerated Pill. However, it was not impossible for him to win in a draw. A 30,000 years old flying cloud grass? All right. I will make a bet with you. If you bet that Venerated Ming will not lose, I will bet that Venerated Pill will definitely win. As for the bet, I will use the Rainflower pill that I just concocted as the bet. Huang Tingzi was also quite confident in venerated Pill. There were more than 30,000 cultivators of the Pill Island on the scene. However, other than Yang Gu, only Su Yan and Ming Ke had confidence in Ning Fan. In the battlefield, Ning Fan and venerated Pill were facing each other from a distance. Both of them restrained their magic power and activated the power of their medicine souls. Soul Transforming Dragon Technique. Venerated Pill patted the top of his head. His surging medicine soul power turned into a gigantic black dragon, rushing out of his head and soaring into the sky. As soon as the black dragon appeared, it immediately attracted the attention of countless cultivators of the Pill Island. Oh my god! Venerated Pill can actually transform his medicine soul into the form of a dragon to attack his enemies. Is this the battle soul attacking technique of the ancient Pill Masters? It's indeed profound and profound. It's not something that we can imagine. The chi of this black dragon is comparable to that of a Void Glimpse stage old monster. Its attack is comparable to a Void Glimpse stage attack. Venerated Ming's cultivation base is terrifying. However, if he only uses his battle soul technique to receive this attack, he certainly won't be able to withstand a single attack from the black dragon. The discussions in the surroundings quietened down at the moment Ning Fan raised his palm. Each of the old monsters held their breaths, waiting to see how Ning Fan would deal with venerated Pill's soul-transforming dragon technique. After Ning Fan raised his palm, he put it down again. A few moments later, he raised it again and put it down again. In his mind, he repeatedly recalled the essence of the execution devil palm. His understanding of the heavenly dipper palm imprint also increased. The great Tao was different, but led to the same destination. Even if the devil martial arts and the battle soul technique were two completely different abilities, there must be some similarities between them. Ning Fan's eyes gradually became clear. He put down his palm for the last time, and did not raise it again. He raised his head and stared at the black dragon coldly. A wave of majestic medicine soul aura force suddenly rushed out of his body, turning into a gigantic black palm imprint that hung in the sky. Heavenly Dipper Palm Imprint. Even though this palm imprint is the Pill Sovereign's ultimate technique, it won't be able to defeat me with just a single palm imprint. Venerated Pill's eyes flashed. He had recognized the Heavenly Dipper Palm Imprint. What I know isn't just a single palm imprint. The 36 Heavenly Dipper Imprint. Ning Fan's expression changed. His aura force was like the Big Dipper of the Heavenly Dipper constellation, neutral and peaceful. The power of his medicine soul was like a gushing ocean. It turned into 35 layers of black waves and condensed into 35 layers of gigantic black palms, merging with the previous palm imprint. When the 36 layers of palm imprints merged into one, his aura force skyrocketed. However, it was still slightly weaker than the black dragon's. You've actually learned all 36 styles of the Pill Sovereign's Heavenly Dipper imprint? Good. Venerated Pill's eyes flashed with a hint of battle intent. If Ning Fan has learned all of the Heavenly Dipper imprint, he could no longer be underestimated. He must use his full strength to deal with him. Venerated Pill changed his hand seal. The black dragon summoned the wind and rain, and swept towards Ning Fan with a terrifying aura force. If Ning Fan's palm imprint was only at this level, Venerated Pill's chances of winning would be very high. However, Ning Fan's palm imprint was not that simple. There are still 3 more palm imprints. His eyes suddenly changed. His eyes that were originally like the Big Dipper constellation, suddenly turned into a pair of eyes filled with terrifying killing intent. Even his medicine soul was tainted with an extremely heavy killing intent. His originally black medicine soul was now slightly blood red. What Venerated Pill found unbelievable was that Ning Fan had actually added 3 more styles of palm imprints on top of the 36 styles of Heavenly Dipper imprint. He actually knows 39 palm imprints. The last 3 palm imprints don't seem to be the palm imprints that the Pill Sovereign knows. Could it be that this young man created them himself? Just as Venerated Pill's mind was racing, Ning Fan's soul palm imprint had already landed heavily on the black dragon, producing a series of loud explosions. Boom 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 39 consecutive explosions resounded. Such a tremendous force shocked countless cultivators of the Pill Island. During the collision, the palm imprints gradually weakened and eventually disappeared. As for the black dragon, It could not help but roar furiously. In the end, it was forcefully torn into two by the palm imprints. Boom! Another wave of energy fluctuation spread across the area. Ning Fan hurriedly took a few steps back while Venerated Pill also took a few steps back. Unlike Ning Fan's calmness, Venerated Pill's eyes flashed with intense astonishment. It's a draw. Countless cultivators of the Pill Island took a deep breath. All of them wore expressions of disbelief. In terms of the strength of one's medicine soul, Ning Fan was still slightly weaker than Venerated Pill. However, he had perfectly withstood the attack of Venerated Pill's battle soul, with his understanding of the battle soul technique. This was just too unbelievable. A 5th Revolution Pill Refinement Master had actually blocked the attack of a 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Master's battle soul. If this matter were to spread out, it would definitely be a big news in the Rain world. Haha, a draw. Yanggu looked at Huang Tingzi proudly. He had won this bet. How could this be? Huang Tingzi's face was full of regret, but he could not hide his deep shock. Why didn't he expect this outcome? A terrifying thought rose in Huang Tingzi's mind. Before Ning Fan had truly broken through to the 6th Revolution, his medicine soul was already on par with Venerated Pill. If Ning Fan attains the 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Realm, wouldn't his medicine soul be even stronger than Venerated Pill? If that's the case, as long as Ning Fan attains the 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Realm, he would be able to take over Venerated Pill's ranking and become the 7th Pill Refinement Master of the Rain World. Rain Immortal World. 7th. Thinking of this ranking, Huang Tingzi's breathing became erratic. Even a pill sovereign at his age would not be able to possess the 7th or 8th pill refinement realm in the Rain world. Could it be that Ning Fan's innate talent in pill refinement is even higher than the pill sovereign? Chapter 500. After the battle with Ning Fan, Venerated Pill seemed to have gained great enlightenment. After giving some instructions to all the elders, he thanked Ning Fan sincerely and hurriedly returned to the island for seclusion. He was eager to organize his understanding of the battle soul technique. As for Huang Tingzi, Yanggu and the other elders of the Pill Island, they followed Venerated Pill's order and led Ning Fan's group to rest on the island. There were 17 pill palaces on the Pill Island. All of them were built on the best spiritual veins. In the past, only the distinguished guests of the Pill Island could stay there. Ning Fan's group was arranged to stay in the Heaven Essence Pill Palace. It was the most famous palace among the 17 palaces. Obviously, Ning Fan was one of the most respected guests of the Pill Island in the past countless years. The Heaven Essence Palace was located at the peak of a mountain range. It was surrounded by clouds and mist. Immortal cranes chirped in the sky. Standing on the peak of the mountain range, one could see the insignificance of the other mountains. Looking at the mountains from the outside of the Heaven Essence Palace, one could see a 10,000 zhang pond surrounded by divine light. The pond was none other than the Pill Island's most famous soul cleansing pond, and the divine light was the famous soul cleansing light. In order to prevent the soul bathing light from spreading, the soul washing pond was sealed all year round. Normally, only the first few floors of the pond were opened for the pill refinement masters on the island to cultivate. The remaining few floors were sealed one by one. At this moment, there were many experts of the Pill Island outside the soul washing pond. They were busy removing the seal on the 5th floor of the pond. Presumably, the 5th floor would be opened in half a day. The divine light surrounding the soul washing pond was slightly black in color. However, there was also a trace of extremely faint purple light. Is that the soul bathing light? Ning Fan stood at the peak of the Heaven Essence Palace and looked down at the soul washing pond. Su Yan, who was standing behind him, smiled and praised him. I didn't expect the battle between you and Venerated Pill to end in a draw. It's really unbelievable. Do you think I will lose? Ning Fan asked with a faint smile. No. Of course, I firmly believe that you won't lose. However, I am still a little surprised to see you draw with Venerated Pill. After all, the battle of medicine souls can be seen as a contest of pill refinement techniques. Since you can draw with Venerated Pill in terms of medicine soul, I suppose you won't lose to Venerated Pill in terms of pill refinement, right? Yinner is really smart. I can't hide anything from you. It is true that the difficulty of concocting a 6th revolution Dan is far greater than a 5th revolution Dan. I have never tried to concoct a 6th revolution Dan, and it is impossible for me to concoct a 6th revolution Dan directly. However, if I concoct a peak 5th revolution pill first, and then use the revolution upgrade technique to raise the grade of this pill, I have 30% confidence that I can concoct a low-grade 6th revolution pill. 30%? That's already very high. Other than you, I'm afraid there's no other 5th revolution pill master in the Rain world who has the confidence to concoct a 6th revolution pill. Your title of the 8th pill refinement master of Rain Immortal World is well deserved. If you break through to the 6th revolution pill refinement realm, not to mention the 7th, I'm afraid you can even compete for the 6th or 5th position in Rain Immortal World. In the Rain Immortal World, there were only 4 people whose pill refinement mastery had reached the mid-grade 6th revolution. In Su Yan's mind, if Ning Fan attains the 6th revolution pill refinement realm, even those experienced low-grade 6th revolution pill refinement masters would certainly not be a match for him. Ning Fan just smiled and did not answer. Su Yan quietly looked at Ning Fan's back and firmly believed that she was not mistaken. After all, even though his back was obviously skinny, it gave people a sense of security and trust. Brother Biscuit, can I take a stroll around the Biscuit Island on my own? Little Ming Kei's eyes were filled with pleading. Take a stroll? I'm afraid you want to sneak into the forbidden area of the Pill Island and secretly eat their pills, don't you? Ning Fan exposed Ming Kei's thoughts. Ming Kei playfully stuck out her tongue. She felt rather embarrassed that Ning Fan had seen through her thoughts. There are a total of 42,000 pill refinement masters on the Pill Island. Among them, 34,000 are First Revolution Pill Masters, 7,000 are Second Revolution Pill Masters, 400 are Third Revolution Pill Masters, 74 are Fourth Revolution Pill Masters and 5 are Fifth Revolution Pill Masters. There are quite a lot of pills stored on the Pill Island. Most of them are concocted by the disciples and elders on a daily basis. However, most of them are low-grade pills. Most of them are below the 3rd revolution. As for pills above the 4th revolution, other than the cultivators on the island who use them for cultivation, most of them are sold to the cultivators of the Endless Sea in exchange for immortal jade or medicinal ingredients. Ning Fan's words gradually made Ming Kei feel dejected. What's the use of having a lot of 3rd revolution pills on the island? It was almost impossible for her to improve her cultivation base by consuming them. At the very least, she needed to consume 5th revolution pills in order to improve her strength. Even though there were many pill refinement masters on the Pill Island, and they could also concoct a lot of finished pills, the high-grade pills would be sold off as soon as they are produced. There was no other way about it. Pill concoction was originally a profession that burned money. It was not hard to imagine how much medicinal ingredients would be consumed, and how much money would be burned for 40,000 pill refinement masters to concoct pills every day. Especially those high-grade pill refinement masters who kept trying to concoct pills that were beyond their capabilities. However, 9 out of 10 of them would end up in failure. Hence, the Pill Island needed to sell pills continuously in order to have enough money to support the pill refinement masters on the island. In Ming Kei's imagination, the Pill Island was filled with high-grade pills. However, that was not the case. Even if she empties the storehouse of the Pill Island, she would not be able to find too many 5th revolution pills. I thought that after coming to the Biscuit Island, I can eat pill biscuits until I'm full. Ming Kei's small face was filled with disappointment. She no longer had the mood to wander around. There's a place that might be able to let you eat until you're full. Follow me. Ning Fan smiled mysteriously. He did not rest in the primordial heaven palace. Instead, he brought Su Yan and Ming Kei straight to a certain medicinal valley on the Pill Island. It was a small and narrow medicinal valley. It was surrounded by a circle on all 4 sides like a natural treasure bowl. There was only one elder of the Pill Island guarding the medicinal valley. The name of the valley was Waste Pill Valley. As the name suggested, it was used to store useless pills. As long as one was a pill refinement master, there would be times when their pills would turn out to be useless. There was no exception. All the useless pills concocted by the cultivators of the Pill Island would be sent to this medicinal valley and piled up randomly. Every 10 years, the elder who guarded the valley would clean up the useless pills. At this moment, there were still 2 more years before the useless pills would be cleaned up. In other words, all the useless pills concocted by the pill refinement masters of the Pill Island in the past 8 years were piled up in the valley. Ning Fan's purpose of bringing Ming Ke to the Waste Pill Valley was very simple. He just wanted to take away all the Fifth Revolution pills. He wanted to use Ming Ke's ability to purify all the Fifth Revolution pills. Then she would have enough pills to consume. Breaking through to the Void Refinement Realm was just around the corner. Of course, purifying the useless pills would consume a lot of magic power and time. Hence, it was enough for Ming Ke to purify the Fifth Revolution pills. If she purifies even low-grade useless pills, it would be too much of a waste of time and magic power. Ming Ke was not stupid. When Ning Fan brought her to the Waste Pill Valley, she immediately understood what he wanted to do. She patted her forehead and said embarrassedly, "How could I forget that there is such a method? To me, aren't useless biscuits still edible?" Su Yan still did not know that Ming Ke had the ability to purify the useless pills. Thus, she did not understand why Ning Fan came to the Waste Pill Valley. The elder who guarded the valley was a late Gold Core Realm middle-aged cultivator. His name was Wang Cheng. A late Gold Core Realm cultivator could be considered as an old ancestor in a low-grade cultivation country. However, he was not worth mentioning on the Pill Island. He only had the right to guard the Waste Pill Valley. Guarding the Waste Pill Valley was an idle job. Besides, there was nothing to be gained from it. Thus, Wang Cheng was happy to have some peace and quiet. The useless pills did not have any edible value. Their only use was to bury them once every 10 years. The weak medicinal qi of the pills could be used to slightly improve the spirit veins of the Pill Island. Therefore, other than the attending disciples who were responsible for transporting the useless pills, very few people would come to the Waste Pill Valley. Wang Cheng was leisurely guarding the pavilion at the entrance of the valley. He was playing a black and white chess piece against himself in a leisurely manner. When Ning Fan and the others arrived at the valley, Wang Cheng did not even raise his head. He just thought that they were attending disciples who were transporting the useless pills. Thus, he complained indifferently. Useless pills. Another batch of useless pills. 3 batches of useless pills have been delivered here this month. Can't you guys be more attentive when you concoct pills? It's shameful to waste pills, understand? As the saying goes, those who recklessly waste God's resources will be spat upon by the heavens. Each of the useless pills here requires the consumption of medicinal ingredients and immortal jade. Wang Cheng grumbled for a while, and continued playing his chess piece. At this moment, the voice of a young man suddenly echoed from afar. Well said. Those who recklessly waste God's resources will be spat upon by the heavens. Be it pill concoction or cultivation, everything in the world must be done attentively. You can't neglect it. The young man's voice made Wang Cheng's hand, which was about to place his chess piece, stiffen in mid-air. Wang Cheng raised his head in disbelief. When he saw that the person who came was not a attending disciple but Ning Fan's group, he was so scared that he nearly peed his pants. His entire body began to tremble, and he immediately went out of the pavilion to welcome them. Revered Ming, why did you come to my Waste Pill Valley? Please come in. I misspoke. Wang Cheng suddenly realized that inviting Ning Fan into the Waste Pill Valley seemed to be very inappropriate. The Waste Pill Valley was used to store useless people. If he invited Ning Fan into the valley, wouldn't he be secretly calling him a useless person? Of course, Wang Cheng recognized Ning Fan. In other words, how could there be anyone on the Pill Island who did not know Ning Fan? Venerated Pill's order had already been passed down to the entire Pill Island. Not to mention entering the Waste Pill Valley, Ning Fan could even enter the forbidden area of the Pill Island. However, Wang Cheng did not understand why Ning Fan would come to the Waste Pill Valley. Thus, he did not dare to ask about it. He had stayed on the Pill Island for his entire life. Although he had never seen any great events, he had heard too much of Ning Fan's notoriety. Now that he was in close contact with Ning Fan, the #1 devil lord of the Internal Sea, he naturally felt extremely terrified. There's no need to be nervous. The reason why I came to the Waste Pill Valley is just to collect some useless pills for research. I don't have any ill intentions. What's your name? What is your position on the Pill Island? Ning Fan explained. As soon as Wang Cheng heard that Ning Fan did not have any ill intentions, he heaved a sigh of relief and answered respectfully. My name is Wang Cheng. I'm the third-class elder of the Pill Island, and I'm in charge of guarding the Waste Pill Valley. I want to collect some useless pills for research. How about this? You go and filter out all the useless pills that are above the 5th revolution, and send them to the Primordial Heaven Palace. The faster the better. It's best if you can complete it within a day. Filter out all the useless 5th revolution pills. And the faster the better? Within a day. Wang Cheng's jaw dropped in shock. The useless pills in the Waste Pill Valley were not worth a single cent. Ning Fan was a distinguished guest of the Pill Island. It did not matter to him to take whatever he wanted. Of course, he did not have any objections. What made Wang Cheng feel awkward was that Ning Fan wanted him to filter out all the useless 5th revolution pills. It was very difficult to determine the grade of the useless pills. Moreover, most of them were charred black and there was not much difference in their appearance. Unless one was a 5th revolution pill refinement master with a medicine soul, it would be very difficult to identify the grade of the useless pills. Only God knew that there were tens of millions of useless pills in the Waste Pill Valley. Among them, less than 100,000 were useless pills that were above the 5th revolution. Searching for a few hundred 5th revolution pills from tens of millions of useless pills was like looking for a needle in a haystack. The difficulty was not small. Even if Wang Cheng was given 10 years, he might not be able to filter out all the 5th revolution pills, let alone within a day. Revered Ming, please forgive me. One day is really not enough. Wang Cheng trembled uncontrollably. He did not know what would happen if he disobeyed Ning Fan's order. Not enough? Could it be that the useless pills in the Waste Pill Valley are not stored according to grade? Ning Fan spread his spirit sense and scanned the Waste Pill Valley. Then he burst into laughter. The useless pills in the Waste Pill Valley were casually piled up like rubbish. They were not categorized according to grade. It was indeed difficult for Wang Cheng, a mere gold core realm cultivator, to filter out the 5th revolution pills. Forget it. Yen Air, accompany Ming Ke to filter out the 5th revolution pills. Her nose is very sensitive. She will know where the 5th revolution pills are with just a sniff. Ning Fan left Su Yen and Ming Ke in the Waste Pill Valley. With Ming Ke's sense of smell, which was used to search for heavenly ingredients and earthly treasures, it would not be too difficult for her to find the 5th revolution pills in the Pill Ocean. Su Yen was confused. Until now, she still could not figure out why Ning Fan would ask for the 5th revolution pills. Ming Ke was eager to give it a try. She wanted to immediately find all the 5th revolution pills and purify them one by one. As for Wang Cheng, he heaved a sigh of relief. He did not expect Ning Fan to be so easygoing. He actually did not kill Wang Cheng just because he refused his order. Revered Ming doesn't seem to be as ruthless as the rumors say. Speaking of which, why did Revered Ming ask for the 5th revolution pills for research? Wang Cheng asked in confusion. After leaving the Waste Pill Valley, Ning Fan went to the libraries on the Pill Island alone to read pill recipes, pill refinement techniques, and many other insights. Whenever he saw a 5th revolution or 6th revolution pill recipe, he would make a copy of it. The elders who were guarding the libraries naturally did not dare to stop him. In just half a day, Ning Fan had visited all the libraries on the Pill Island. Half a day later, Venerated Pill finally came out from his seclusion. He had already absorbed all the insights he had gained from the battle with Ning Fan. I heard that fellow Taoist needs 5th revolution pills? May I know why you need 5th revolution pills? Venerated Pill had already received the news and asked casually. It's just for research. Knowing one's defeat is the way to obtain victory. Ning Fan answered casually. Of course he would not tell the truth. I see. Fellow Taoist wants to understand the reason behind the failure of pill refinement from the 5th revolution pills to verify your Tao of pill. Venerated Pill nodded and no longer asked. Then he raised his head and said with a smile. On my Pill Island, other than the soul-washing pond, there is another treasure. It's the divine chests of an ancient pill master. I wonder if fellow Taoist is interested in meeting it. Would you like to try and see if you can open its seal? Divine chests? Ning Fan was slightly surprised. The so-called divine chests were a storage method unique to the ancient divine clan. They could hide treasures using divine techniques that could isolate them from the heavenly secrets. The treasures would not be destroyed even after thousands of years. Some divine chests contained secret treasures, some contained cultivation methods, some contained pills, and some even contained ancient living beings. Could it be that there are actually divine chests left behind by ancient divine cultivators on the Pill Island? Judging from Venerated Pill's tone, the divine chests had never been opened before. Chapter 501. That's right. I do have a batch of divine chests that have yet to be opened. They are kept in the Purple Chi Palace. My cultivation base is too weak to open these divine chests. I hope fellow Taoists can help me open them. Of course, opening the divine chests is extremely difficult. Even if fellow Taoist fails, it won't be a big deal. However, if fellow Taoist succeeds, I'm willing to share this batch of divine chests with you. I wonder if fellow Taoist is willing to give it a try? Venerated Pill's eyes flashed with anticipation. He knew that Ning Fan's abilities were extraordinary. That was why he asked for his help. Of course, Venerated Pill was not very confident that Ning Fan could open the divine chests. He was just trying his luck. Since fellow Taoist has invited me, I'm naturally willing to give it a try. As for whether I can open the divine chests or not, I can only do my best and leave it to fate. However, I have a question. The ancient divine clan has been extinct for a long time. The ancient divine chests are also very rare. I wonder where did fellow Taoists find these divine chests? Ning Fan asked. I found these divine chests in the outer area of the Immortal Burning Valley. Fellow Taoist, please follow me. Venerated Pill laughed and led Ning Fan to the Purple Chi Palace. Ning Fan's eyes widened slightly. He was shocked by the name of the Immortal Burning Valley. Even though he had not been to too many cultivation countries in the Rain World, he had heard a little about the Immortal Burning Valley. The Immortal Burning Valley was located in an ancient forbidden area in a void-grade cultivation country, West Flame Country. It was said to be the remains of an ancient sect that was destroyed. There were many opportunities in the valley but more dangers. Many experts of the Rain World would go to the Immortal Burning Valley to seek opportunities. Unfortunately, cultivators below the nascent Soul Realm could not even enter the outer area of the valley. As for the cultivators who could enter the outer area, 9 out of 10 of them would probably die inside. In order to enter the valley, one would need at least an absolute void stage cultivation base to break through the flame formation. At least, Venerated Pill could not enter the valley. They could only search for treasures in the outer area. Rumor has it that in the deepest part of the Immortal Burning Valley, there was a fallen abyss which was sealed by layers of intertwining immortal flames. Even void fragmentation realm experts could not enter it. Even if they forced their way in, they would most likely die. Ning Fan had always suspected that the reason why the Rain Sovereign valued his indestructible fire body so much was because he wanted him to enter the fallen abyss, was because he wanted him to enter it to search for something. Of course, this was just Ning Fan's speculation. As for what the Rain Emperor needed him to do, it was not something that he could make a rash decision on. Now that Venerated Pill had brought out a few pieces of divine chests from the outer region of the Immortal Burning Valley, he could not help but feel a little interested. As they pondered, the two of them arrived at the Purple Chi Palace. This was a forbidden palace deep in the mountains, shrouded in purple mist. The spiritual vein of this Purple Chi Palace was not as superior as that of the Primordial Heaven Palace. However, a low-grade mortal void grand formation was set up outside the palace. Moreover, there were quite a number of experts of the Pill Island guarding this place. Obviously, Venerated Pill attached great importance to the defense of this place. Greetings, Alchemy Lord. Greetings to Venerated Ming. As soon as the cultivators of the Pill Island saw the two of them, they immediately knelt down and greeted them. No need for formalities. Zhu Qing, guard this place. Don't let anyone enter the Purple Chi Palace. This old man wants to enter the palace with revered Ming. I don't want to be disturbed, Venerated Pill said in a dignified manner. Yes. The leader of the cultivators guarding the area immediately activated the formation, not daring to be negligent. When Ning Fan and Venerated Pill had already entered the palace, Zhu Qing ordered his men to close the grand formation again. However, there was a hint of shock in his eyes that was difficult to conceal. The same shock also appeared in the eyes of the other cultivators. There are only 3 pieces of divine chests in the Purple Qi Palace. Could it be that Venerated Pill and Revered Ming have come together to open the divine chests? A young cultivator guessed. In the past hundreds of years, Venerated Pill had also invited a few Void Refinement Realm experts to open the divine chests. However, none of them succeeded. Now that they have invited Revered Ming to open the divine chests, they probably won't succeed either, right? An elderly man shook his head and said, "Be careful with your words. Do you think a person like Revered Ming is someone you can discuss behind his back? Shut up right now." As soon as Zhu Qing gave an order, his divine transformation realm aura force dispersed. Everyone stopped talking. Inside the Purple Qi Palace, Ning Fan was following Venerated Pill, while carefully observing the decorations inside the palace. The palace was built in the shape of the character, Hui. It was divided into 2 halls. The palace was paved with turquoise stones and illuminated with moonlight stones. It was magnificent. In the outer hall, there was a pair of nascent soul realm spiritual puppets guarding the 2 sides of the path every 10 steps. After entering the inner hall, there were a total of 16 divine transformation realm spiritual puppets guarding the 4 sides of the hall. The inner hall was sealed off by layers of grand formations. Other than Venerated Pill himself, no one could enter. In the middle of the grand formations, there were 3 white jade platforms. Each of the platforms was enshrined with a gigantic blue stone. The blue stone was round and about 10 zhang tall. From afar it looked like a stone egg. The surface of the boulders was covered with dense green runes. They gave off an ancient qi and glowed with an immortal light. With these runes, the boulders were extremely sturdy. Even a Void Refinement Realm attack would not be able to break them. These 3 boulders were the 3 divine treasures, and each boulder had some secret treasures sealed in it. These are bronze-grade divine chests. It was Ning Fan's first time seeing a divine chest with his own eyes. His eyes sparkled. In the ancient divine clan, divine chests were also divided into different grades. Divine chests that were sealed with blue stones were known as bronze grade. Generally, they were the most inferior secret treasures. Above bronze grade divine chests were usually silver grade divine chests, gold grade divine chests, and so on. However, to the cultivators of the later generations, even the most inferior bronze grade divine chests had immeasurable value. Fellow Taoist, you have extraordinary experience. You actually know about the grades of divine chests. That's right. These 3 divine chests are bronze grade divine chests. I found them at the outer area of the Immortal Burning Valley. Together with the 3 bronze grade divine chests, I also found the Flame Light Goblet. Based on the Flame Light Goblet, I made a bold guess that the ancient cultivator, who left these 3 divine chests, was a Pill Refinement Master. Therefore, the treasures in these 3 divine chests must be related to Pill Refinement. Venerated Pill explained. Ning Fan remained silent. He had seen the Flame Light Goblet before. It was the #1 treasure of the Pill Island. He did not expect that it would be found together with these 3 divine chests. The Flame Light Goblet had the magical effect of identifying pills. It was extremely valuable, but it was not kept in the divine chests. In other words, the treasures in these 3 divine chests were even more valuable than the Flame Light Goblet. Each of the divine chests has the divine technique and runes left behind by the ancient divine clan. With these runes, it will be extremely difficult to break open the divine chests and obtain the treasures in the rocks. Venerated Pill sighed and took out a fiery red flying sword. All of a sudden, he leaped into the air and flew towards one of the divine chests, as if he wanted to show Ning Fan how sturdy the divine chests were. The flying sword that he was holding was a half-step mortal void treasure. A single strike of his sword produced countless fiery sword rays. Its destructive power was not to be underestimated. It was enough to injure a half-step Void Refinement Realm expert. Countless sword rays landed on the bluestone divine chests like raindrops. However, they only produced a crisp sound of impact. They could not even leave a scratch on the bluestone at all. As fellow Taoists can see, the sturdiness of these divine chests can even ignore the attacks of half-step void refinement realm experts. Even when I transform my soul into a dragon and display a void glimpse stage attack, I still couldn't break the bluestone and take out the divine chests inside. I have also invited void inquiry stage cultivators to open the divine chests, but none of them succeeded. Venerated Pill's words made Ningfan fall into silence again. The so-called divine chests were just treasures hidden inside rocks. As long as the bluestone's outer layer is split open, one would be able to obtain the secret treasures. However, it was not an easy task to split open the outer layer of the bluestone. Separation Slayer, Force. Ningfan walked towards the first bluestone step at a time. All of a sudden, he touched his glabella and took out the Separation Slayer sword. He channeled his essence chi into his arm. Then he raised his hand and slashed at the first bluestone with the power to move mountains and rivers. The technique of this sword move was simple and it seemed ordinary. However, the massive force it drew was enough to severely injure even a void inquiry stage old monster. What a strong sword technique. Venerated Pill's eyes widened in shock. If he was the one who was slashed by this sword move, he would certainly die. Ningfan's strength was far beyond Venerated Pill's expectation. His eyes could not help but reveal a look of anticipation. He was looking forward to Ningfan slashing open the bluestone's outer layer. Boom! The first bluestone took the attack head-on. It completely withstood Ningfan's terrifying strength that could move mountains and fill seas. The white jade platform that was built on the bluestone base was shattered into pieces by the force of the sword. The bluestone fell to the ground. Even so, there was only a sword mark that was as thin as a strand of hair on the surface of the divine chests. In just an instant, the runes on the surface of the bluestone moved, and the sword mark healed. It was as good as new. The massive slashing force caused the entire Purple Chi Palace to shake violently. It startled all the cultivators of Pill Island who were guarding the palace. However, none of them dared to enter the palace to investigate. Ningfan could not help but frown slightly when he saw that his sword could not break the outer layer of the divine chests. It's really hard. Even the attack of an unrivaled void inquiry stage expert could only leave a sword mark that was as thin as a strand of hair on the bluestone. According to Ningfan's estimation, even a void fragmentation realm old monster might not be able to break this bluestone. Moreover, even if the outer layer of the divine chests is forcefully broken, the secret treasures stored inside might also be damaged. Ningfan gradually realized that forcefully breaking the outer layer of the divine chests was not the real way to open the divine chests. Even fellow Taoist's heaven-shaking sword attack can't break the bronze divine chests? Venerated Pill revealed a disappointed expression and let out a deep sigh. However, he suddenly stopped and noticed that Ningfan was about to make his next move. After his sword attack failed, Ningfan withdrew his Separation Slayer sword and remained silent for a while. Then he suddenly opened his mouth and breathed out balls of black devil flames, enveloping the bluestone and burning it forcefully. Venerated Pill's eyes lit up. The grade of this devil flame was far beyond his imagination. It was extremely powerful. However, what disappointed Venerated Pill was that even such a powerful devil flame could not burn the outer layer of the bluestone. Not only was this bluestone divine chest impervious to blades, but it also seemed to be impervious to fire and water. Sigh. It seems like even fellow Taoists can't break the bronze divine chests. Venerated Pill sighed again. Ningfan did not care about Venerated Pill's sigh. He withdrew his devil flame and stood quietly at the side of the bluestone. The first time he slashed the bluestone was to open the divine chests. Then the second time he used the devil flame was just a test. Ningfan did not expect the devil flame to be able to burn the bluestone. He just stared at the bluestone after it was burnt and fell into deep thought. The power of the devil flame was extraordinary. Even if it could not burn the outer layer of the bluestone, it could still leave some charred marks on it. However, after the green runes flashed, they seemed to be flowing. All the damages on the bluestone were instantly repaired. Ningfan seemed to have understood something. The reason why he could not break the bluestone was not because the bluestone itself was too hard, but because the runes on it were too powerful. When his finger came into contact with the flashing runes, They stopped flashing for a moment and returned to normal. However, Ning Fan could hear a strange voice of the great Tao from the runes. It was the source of power that prevented the blue stone from being destroyed. Without a doubt, these runes were the divine technique runes of the ancient divine clan. There is actually a Tao voice in the divine technique of the ancient divine clan. Could this Tao voice be the reason why the ancient divine clan is so powerful? Tao voice. Tao power. If I want to break the bluestone divine chests, I have to use the power of the great Tao to cut it? Ning Fan seemed to have gained some enlightenment, but he could not comprehend it. Seeing that Ning Fan could not break the outer layer of the divine chests after 2 attempts, Venerated Pill already wanted to give up. He comforted him. The toughness of the divine chests is far beyond my imagination. It seems like even fellow Taoist can't break the outer layer of the divine chests. Forget it. Fellow Taoist doesn't need to try anymore. I already know the result. Fellow Taoist Pill, you don't have to give up in such a hurry. Haven't you heard of the saying, sincerity can split metal and stone? Ning Fan's eyes darkened. He had already found the method to open the divine chests. Traces of the power of the memory intent realm surrounded his body, like pieces of black goose feather snowflakes. Ning Fan made a grabbing motion with his 5 fingers. All of the black snow gathered at the center of his palm, condensing into a black gold short sword that was as cold as ice. The sword was not more than 1 chi long. It emitted a sword light that was similar to the great Tao. Ning Fan waved the short sword and sliced the outer layer of the blue stone. With just a gentle slash, a thin piece of the outer layer was cut off. Venerated Pill was a little stunned. The toughness of the blue stone could even withstand a full force attack from Ning Fan. Why was it unable to withstand a gentle slash from the black gold short sword? He stared at the short sword carefully. Suddenly, he seemed to have noticed something and exclaimed, "This is a Tao weapon." The so-called Tao weapon was a weapon of the great Tao formed by cultivators who have attained the second step of their intent realm. The bluestone divine chests could defend against magic attacks, but it might not necessarily be able to defend against the slashes of the great Tao. This black gold short sword was none other than Ning Fan's great Tao weapon, memory-severing Tao sword. Seeing that the memory-severing Tao sword could cut open the outer layer of the divine chests, Ning Fan guessed inwardly. Could it be that the way to open the divine chests in ancient times is to use a Tao weapon to cut off the outer layer of the stone? While pondering, his hands did not stop moving. Not long after that, he completely cut off the outer layer of the first piece of the divine chests. Among the fine stone lines, the edge of a wooden box could be vaguely seen. It was made of red sandalwood. Ning Fan carefully cut open the blue stone along the edge of the wooden box. The surface of the box was damaged. Finally, he took out the wooden box intact. After that, Ning Fan continued to cut open the blue stone. He cut out an exquisite pottery jar. Other than these 2 items, he did not find any other items in the stone. Looking at the red sandalwood box and the pottery jar, Venerated Pill's breathing began to quicken. He said to Ning Fan excitedly, "Quickly, let's see what these 2 items are." From Venerated Pill's point of view, anything that could be kept in a divine chests must be good stuff. Ning Fan opened the red sandalwood box while Venerated Pill opened the pottery jar. Immediately, both of their expressions turned strange. The pottery jar actually contained a jar of bone ashes. As for the red sandalwood box, there was a wooden token made of sandalwood. It seemed to be the token used by the cultivators of the sect to prove their identity. What made Venerated Pill feel even more helpless was that the names of the sects and cultivators on the wooden token were written in ancient seal script. He actually could not recognize this type of language. I didn't expect that the first divine chests would only contain the life token and bone ashes of an ancient cultivator. How unlucky. Venerated Pill was extremely annoyed. A jar of bone ashes and a token did not have any value at all. Ning Fan was also a little disappointed. However, when he glanced at the token, his heart suddenly skipped a beat. Divine seal script? Venerated Pill might not recognize these ancient characters, but Ning Fan, who had extraordinary experience, could. There were only 5 words written on the token. Shedding Orchid Sect, Wei Yang. Apparently, the owner of the bone ashes was once a disciple of the Shedding Orchid Sect. His name was Wei Yang. As for the name of the Shedding Orchid sect, Ning Fan had never heard of it before. However, it was not strange. Fellow Taoist, please continue to cut open the second divine chests. I don't believe that the second divine chests will also contain bone ashes. Venerated Pill urged. All right. Ning Fan nodded his head. He was prepared to split the divine chests equally with Venerated Pill. Naturally, he hoped to get something good from the divine chests. He did not want to get bone ashes again. Ning Fan waved the memory-severing Dao sword again, and carefully cut open the stone cover of the divine chests. The second divine chests contained a storage thumb ring, and a large pile of miscellaneous items. Among these items were a pill furnace, Dao crystals, pills, pill recipes, ancient scriptures and a magic treasure with a palm leaf fan that was surrounded by purple flames. As for the storage thumb ring, there were only 42 tufts of spiritual herbs. However, all of them were 100,000 years old. Even though a storage thumb ring was rare, it was not worth mentioning. However, the 100,000 years old spiritual herbs made Venerated Pill's eyes burn with passion. However, after carefully examining those spiritual herbs, Venerated Pill realized that all of them had been corroded by devil qi. They were already tainted and could no longer be used to concoct pills. This made Venerated Pill extremely annoyed. As for the pill recipes and ancient scriptures, all of them were written in divine seal script. It was a pity that Venerated Pill could not recognize a single word of them. There were 200 Dao crystals which were equivalent to 1 billion immortal jade. However, wealth also could not move Venerated Pill's heart. However, the pill furnace, palm leaf fan and 6th revolution pills made Venerated Pill smile. Obviously, he was very satisfied with them. This pill furnace is a divine furnace that only ancient divine pill refinement cultivators would use. It's much better than ordinary pill furnaces that are condensed with intent realm power. This palm leaf fan is a low-grade mortal void treasure. Even though its grade isn't high, if it's used during pill concoction, it has the divine effect of slightly improving the quality of flames. These two magic treasures are items that only existed in ancient times. I didn't expect that I would be fated to see them. This is really... There are also 12 6th revolution pills. Pills aren't that precious anymore. Fellow Taoist, how do you think we should distribute these items? Venerated Pill only included the pill furnace, palm leaf fan and 6th revolution pills in the distribution list. He did not care about the other items because they were useless to him. What Venerated Pill meant was that he wanted the pill furnace and palm leaf fan. To Ning Fan, the pill furnace and palm leaf fan were useless items. He really wanted the 6th revolution pills, but it was not necessary for him to have them. On the contrary, the pill recipes, ancient scriptures and contaminated spiritual herbs that Venerated Pill looked down upon had piqued his interest. Ming Ke had the ability to purify pills. He wondered if she could purify 100,000 years old spiritual herbs. If she could, Ning Fan would have enough spiritual herbs to awaken Luo Yu in one go, and obtain a void fragmentation realm bodyguard. The pill recipes and ancient scriptures were all written in divine seal scripts. Venerated Pill might not be able to read them, but Ning Fan could. If I take the ancient scriptures away, I wonder what kind of information I can obtain from them. Fellow Taoist, you seem to like the pill furnace and palm leaf fan very much. A gentleman should help others achieve their beauty, but not their wickedness. How about this? The pill furnace and palm leaf fan will belong to fellow Taoist while the rest of the pills and miscellaneous items will belong to me. What do you think? Ning Fan said with a smile. Fellow Taoist, are you serious? Venerated Pill's face was filled with surprise. If he could obtain the 2 ancient pill refinement magic treasures, he might be able to comprehend the ancient great Tao of Pill. To Venerated Pill, these 2 treasures were related to his Tao of Pill. Thus, they were more precious than anything else. He was afraid that Ning Fan would take away these 2 treasures. When he heard Ning Fan's suggestion, he could not help but feel grateful. Fellow Taoist is really a generous person. Is that so? Ning Fan smiled faintly. This was probably the so-called everyone gets what they need and everyone is happy. Fellow Taoist, why don't you cut the 3rd divine stash and see what treasures are inside? Venerated Pill said excitedly. Yes. Ning Fan waved the memory-severing Dao sword and began to cut off the outer layer of the third divine chest. However, cutting off the stone clothes this time gave him a slightly uneasy feeling. This was a feeling that he didn't have when he cut off the previous 2 pieces of divine treasures. What exactly is hidden in this divine treasure? Ning Fan hesitated. For the third divine chest, he cut it from the bottom to the top. After cutting off a quarter of the stone cover, a beast hoof was revealed. The moment it was exposed to the air, the beast's hoof suddenly trembled slightly, as if it was a living creature. Shit, there are ancient living beings in the third god treasury. Judging from its chi, this living being is actually a void inquiry stage living being. Venerated Pill suddenly reminded loudly. He never expected that there would be such a living being in the divine chests. There were risks in divine treasures, so one had to be cautious when cutting stones. The ancients did not deceive me. If a void fragmentation realm living being appears, wouldn't everyone be finished? Roar. Suddenly, the roar of a beast resounded from the third divine chest. That beast's hoof stomped on the ground, shattering all the stone clothes from the inside out, revealing the massive body of the ancient living being. Then it immediately grew larger with the wind. It was a strange beast that was half man and half horse. It held a bronze bow and arrow in both of its hands. The moment it appeared, it shot a green arrow at Ning Fan and Venerated Pill with blood-red eyes. The destructive power of the green arrow was a void inquiry stage attack. Its destructive power was not to be underestimated. Venerated Pill was attacked by the strange beast in a panic. Facing the void inquiry stage attack, his expression changed drastically. He hurriedly used the Soul Dragon transformation technique to block the void inquiry stage arrow with all his might. However, how could he block it? Venerated Pill coughed out blood and suffered severe injuries after the arrow went through his body. He could not withstand another arrow from the strange beast at all. While panicking, Venerated Pill shouted, "Venerated Ming, save me." However, after calling for help, Venerated Pill was shaken by the aftershock of the arrow and directly fainted. From Venerated Pill's point of view, only Ning Fan had the strength to resist this void inquiry stage strange beast. Now that he had fainted, he could only rely on Ning Fan. Facing a void inquiry stage arrow, Ning Fan naturally would not be as flustered as Venerated Pill. He just casually flicked his sleeve and a vast amount of essence chi rushed out, directly shattering the void inquiry stage arrow into countless pieces. He coldly glared at the strange beast. Then he raised his hand and took out a golden hand furnace. With a change of his hand seal, circles of faint golden halos of spirit wheels spread out from the furnace. They contained boundless power. The halos bombarded the strange beast. Even though it was a dignified void inquiry stage strange beast, it could not withstand the faint golden halos. After letting out a few miserable cries, it let out a furious roar. The one who possesses the key of shedding orchid shall die. Its body trembled and suddenly self-destructed, turning into layers of fiery waves. Ning Fan hurriedly summoned his primordial lightning armor to block the self-destruction attack of the strange beast. The light of the self-destruction gradually faded. After a long time, there were only countless pieces of flesh and a bronze key left on the spot. Ning Fan picked up the key and saw that there were patterns of the Great Tao carved on it. It seemed to be extremely extraordinary, but he did not know where it came from. What is the key of shedding orchid? Ning Fan kept the key. With a flick of his sleeves, wind blew and he used a magic technique to wake up Venerated Pill who had fainted. Cough cough. I didn't expect that there would actually be an ancient creature sealed in the third piece of the divine chests. How terrifying. Where is that strange beast? Venerated Pill sighed while looking around. When he saw the pieces of flesh on the ground, his face was immediately filled with astonishment. Fellow Taoist has actually killed that void inquiry stage strange beast. Venerated Pill found it unbelievable. It's just a vile creature that has just attained the void inquiry stage. Ning Fan said disapprovingly. It was not the first time he had killed a void inquiry stage expert. He had even killed a void pierce stage ancient demon white tiger. That strange beast had just attained the void inquiry stage, and it was not strong. Even if Su Yan were to handle it, She could easily kill it. Has just attained the void inquiry stage. Venerated Pill immediately looked at Ning Fan, as if he was looking at a monster. That strange beast was really unlucky to encounter Ning Fan. What Venerated Pill did not know was that Ning Fan had also obtained a bronze key after killing the strange beast. At this moment, Venerated Pill looked at Ning Fan with tears of gratitude. If it wasn't for Ning Fan, he would certainly have died in the hands of that strange beast. I will never forget fellow Taoist's life-saving grace. Venerated Pill was extremely grateful. Chapter 502. The news of Ning Fan successfully opening the divine chest spread across the entire Pill Island very quickly. It couldn't be helped. The commotion caused by the self-detonation of the ancient living being was too huge. It had alerted many experts. After some investigation, everyone knew the whole story. Then, all the experts of the Pill Island were stunned. It was not a secret that Venerated Pill possessed the divine chests. He had asked many Void Refinement Realm experts to help him open the chests, but none of them succeeded. Today, however, Ning Fan had successfully opened the divine chests that no one could open. This undoubtedly proved Ning Fan's remarkable abilities. Outside the Purple Chi Palace, those cultivators who initially did not believe that Ning Fan could open the divine chests were so shocked that they could not speak a word. As for what treasures were inside the divine chests, it was certainly not something they could ask. In order to avoid unnecessary misunderstandings, Venerated Pill told them the reason for his injuries. When he talked about being attacked by the ancient living beings, many cultivators of the Pill Island turned pale with fright. Who would have thought that there would be a void inquiry stage ancient living being inside the divine chests? It was just too terrifying. Opening the divine chests was indeed risky. One could lose their life if they are not careful. After hearing about Ning Fan killing the ancient living being and saving Venerated Pill, each of the cultivators of the Pill Island felt deep respect for Ning Fan. However, some of them were still scared. If it wasn't for Ning Fan being so powerful, the entire Pill Island would probably have been massacred by the ancient living beings. As Ning Fan's disciple, Yanggu's status in the Pill Island rose. Everyone respected him even more. Venerated Pill's complexion was still very pale. His injuries were not light. Even though he had taken some pills to suppress his injuries in time, it would still take some time for him to fully recover. The ambush this time was truly an undeserved calamity. Fortunately, he managed to obtain the 2 magic treasures that he had been dreaming of. At least his injuries were not in vain. Fellow Taoist opened the divine chest for me and even saved my life. I can't repay your kindness. If you need my help in the future, I will definitely go through water and tread on fire without any hesitation. Venerated Pill said with a solemn tone. Fellow Taoist Pill, you're exaggerating. However, since you said so, I will certainly ask for your help if I encounter any trouble in the future. Ning Fan said with a faint smile. This time, opening the divine chests had shortened the distance between Venerated Pill and Ning Fan. Venerated Pill had no choice but to immediately enter seclusion to heal his wounds. He entrusted the task of unsealing the soul cleansing pond to Huang Tingzi, Yanggu, and the other Pill Island elders. Before he left Ning Fan with extremely detailed insights on pill refinement. All of them were his lifetime understanding as a 6th Revolution pill refinement master. Ning Fan kept the jade slip and returned to the Primordial Heaven Palace alone. All the maids who were serving in the hall were dismissed. The people who dismissed the maids were Ming Ke and Su Yan. In a certain side hall of the Primordial Heaven Palace, Ming Ke was activating her magic power to purify piles of 5th Revolution pills. This was not a scene that could be seen by outsiders. On the side, Su Yan was in charge of putting Ming Ke's purified pills into a bottle. Her apricot eyes were filled with shock. She finally understood why Ning Fan would ask for useless pills from the Pill Island. Little K-Air, I didn't expect you to be able to purify a defective pill into a qualified pill. Your means are truly amazing. Su Yan praised. Hee big sister Yan, are you scared? I still have a lot of tricks up my sleeves. Bright Sparrow giggled. I'm scared, I'm really scared. You're such an incredible girl. Master has returned. As soon as they sensed Ning Fan's return, The two ladies immediately stopped what they were doing and stood up to welcome him. Both of them had naturally heard about Ningfan opening the divine chests. When Su Yan heard that Ningfan fought against an ancient living being, she could not help but feel worried. However, when she saw that Ningfan was unscathed, she could not help but let out a sigh of relief. Ming Ke, on the other hand, had always been full of confidence in Ningfan. She was not worried that he would get hurt. Instead, she was concerned about what secret treasures he had obtained from the divine chests. Brother Biscuit, what kind of good things are inside the divine chests? Can you let me have a bite? Ming Ke's petite face was filled with a pleading expression. She was indeed a pure foodie. You only know how to eat. Ningfan could not help but laugh. He patted his storage pouch and took out 12 jade boxes, placing them on the table. Each of the jade boxes contained a 6th revolution pill. Each of them emitted a strange pill fragrance which made Ming Ke salivate. These are 6th revolution pills. There are actually 12 of them. There are so many of them. Even though Su Yan was a void inquiry stage expert and the leader of a clan, she rarely had the chance to come into contact with so many 6th revolution pills. Among the 12 6th revolution pills, 5 of them were low grade, 5 of them were mid grade, and 2 of them were high grade. Not a single one of these 12 pills wasn't healing medicine. Even though healing pills were precious, they were not essential to Ningfan, who had mastered the Black Star technique. Hence, he might as well give them to Ming Ke to increase her cultivation base. Little girl, I need your help with something. If you can do it, I will give all 12 of these 6th revolution pills to you. Really? Ming Ke was drooling. Of course it's true. I have some spiritual herbs here. Help me purify them. Don't eat them carelessly. I have great use for them. Ningfan took out a pile of 100,000 years old spiritual herbs. The little girl was completely overjoyed. There are so many medicinal treasures. All of them are for me. She selectively forgot about Ningfan's reminder. They were obviously not for her, alright? There are so many 100,000 years old spiritual herbs. Su Yan was slightly surprised again. She realized that she would always be surprised one after another whenever she follows Ningfan. Even though these spiritual herbs were contaminated by devil qi, Su Yan had never seen so many 100,000 years old spiritual herbs before. I've already told you that they are not for you to eat. Fine. It's fine if you want to eat them. However, you have to answer me first. Do you have the confidence to purify these spiritual herbs? Ningfan shook his head speechlessly. Once this glutton sets her eyes on this batch of spiritual herbs, he could forget about getting them. After all, Ningfan's pill refinement realm had yet to reach the 7th revolution. Other than saving Luoyu, he did not need these 100,000 years old spiritual herbs for the time being. Thus, it was fine to give some extra spiritual herbs to Ming Quebec. Moreover, he was not sure if she could purify these spiritual herbs. Ming Ke was a pill devil. It was reasonable for her to purify pills, but purifying medicinal herbs. I can purify these medicinal treasures. Believe me, I can really do it. 3 days at most. No, 2 days. Within 2 days, I can definitely purify all of them. Ming Ke was full of confidence. All right. After the purification is done, leave 15 tufts for me. I need to save someone. Ningfan patted Ming Ke's little head lovingly. Facing this innocent and naive glutton, he had no choice but to compromise. After all, without Ming Ke, he would not be able to get a single tuft of 100,000 years old spiritual herbs. Thus, he had to give her some compensation, didn't he? Moreover, with her half-step void refinement realm cultivation base, if she consumes these 6th revolution pills and 100,000 years old spiritual herbs, it would probably be enough for her to break through to the void refinement realm. This little girl's pill devil physique is really heaven-defying. Sometimes, Ningfan could not help but think of making a bright sparrow nurturing plan. Ming Ke's physique was so heaven-defying. If she has enough pills and spiritual herbs, it would be enough to nurture her into a void fragmentation realm expert in a few decades. Moreover, she had obtained Seetsong's memories. Her combat strength was extremely high. Once she becomes a void fragmentation realm expert, a nurturing plan, huh? Ning Fan suddenly felt a little excited about what kind of person he could nurture Ming Ke into. Ming Ke began to get busy. She swallowed her saliva while purifying the 100,000 years old spiritual herbs. Ning Fan then entered the profound Yin world. If nothing goes wrong, after Ming Ke purifies 15 tufts of spiritual herbs, Ning Fan would be able to wake Luo Yu up. He stepped into the thatched hut and carefully combed the body of the white-robed lady, making preparations to wake her up. When he was done, he walked out of the thatched hut and looked through the other loots in the divine chests. There was a sandalwood nameplate, a pill recipe, an ancient scripture, a bronze key, but the urn of bone ashes was not among them. Ning Fan took away Wei Yang's ashes along with the nameplate. Before he parted ways with venerated Pill, he buried his ashes in a secluded place on Pill Island and made a small grave. On top of the mound, there was only a stone tablet with 4 words written on it, to send off the ruler. Many cultivators of Pill Island could not understand his behavior. They could not understand why Ning Fan would treat an ancient cultivator who had died many years ago so well. Venerated Pill was the only one who understood Ning Fan's actions. Thus his respect for Ning Fan increased. This was a kind of open-mindedness, letting all the grudges and gratitude return to dust, dust to dust, dust to dust. This was a kind of desire, a desire for someone to bury him today, a desire for someone to bury him in the future. This was a kind of helplessness. As a cultivator, it was hard for him to escape from the battle. He didn't know when he would fall in a foreign land and no one would collect his corpse. Shedding Orchid Sect, Wei Yang. In the profound Yin world, Ning Fan looked at the sandalwood nameplate, and his eyes gradually fell into deep thought. It was the first time he saw this name tag, so he didn't pay too much attention to it. However, that ancient living being mentioned the Shedding Orchid Key. Ning Fan had examined it, and found out that the Shedding Orchid Key was somewhat extraordinary. The metal used to forge the key was actually blue roving tears gold, which was even rarer than the immemorial star iron. This kind of metal was not as sturdy as the immemorial star iron. Thus, it was not suitable for forging weapons. However, it had another use. In ancient times, some powerful cultivators often used blue roving tears gold to forge keys to secret places. Normally, there would not be only one key that was made of blue roving tears gold. As for the keys that were made of this metal, they all had one thing in common. If all the keys are not collected, there was absolutely no way to open the door of the secret place. If one of the keys is destroyed, the secret place would never be able to be opened. Without a doubt, this Shedding Orchid Key was the key to a secret place in the Shedding Orchid Sect. Ning Fan's mind raced. There was a legend about the immortal Burning Valley in Western Flame Country. It was said that the immortal Burning Valley was the remains of an ancient sect that had been annihilated. As for which sect it was, there were no records in any ancient books. Since Wei Yang's ashes were found here, could the sect that was annihilated which was not recorded in the ancient books be the Shedding Orchid Sect? Could he obtain any benefits from the Shedding Orchid Sect with this Shedding Orchid Key? Ning Fan shook his head and stopped guessing. There was definitely more than one key. As for how many keys there were, perhaps only the Shedding Orchid Sect that had been annihilated would know. No one knew what was hidden in the secret place. As for whether Ning Fan could find all the keys, or if one of the keys was already destroyed, only God would know. With so many uncertainties, it was really not worth it for Ning Fan to waste his efforts on a Shedding Orchid Key. This key was probably useless. Ning Fan kept the sandalwood nameplate and the Shedding Orchid Key. Ning Fan flipped through the scrolls of pill recipes and his eyes lit up. Then he frowned. There were a total of 25 types of pill recipes in his divine chests. Each of them was a pill that was at the 6th revolution and above. There were even some pills that could increase one's cultivation base. Besides, the pills of the Shedding Orchid Sect were far more effective than ordinary pills. For example, the low-grade 6th revolution void expansion pill could actually increase the cultivation base of an expert at any level of the void refinement realm. It was unlike ordinary pills that could only be consumed by void glimpse stage experts. If a void inquiry stage expert consumes it, their effects would be greatly reduced. Another example was the low-grade 6th revolution soul tempering pill. It could increase the medicine soul power of 5th Revolution and 6th Revolution pill refinement masters, thereby improving their pill refinement mastery. Among the pill recipes, Ningfan even found a low-grade 6th Revolution pill recipe called Void-Consuming Pill. The effect of this pill was even more unique. It could actually help low-level cultivators consume 7th Revolution pills and refine Void Fragmentation Realm Dao fruits. If low-level cultivators recklessly consume 7th Revolution pills or Void Fragmentation Realm Dao fruits, there would only be one outcome. Their bodies would explode from the medicinal power. Even for Void Glimpse stage and Void Inquiry stage experts who consume 7th Revolution pills and Void Fragmentation Realm Dao fruits, most of their medicinal power would be consumed due to their insufficient cultivation base. Ningfan still had a Void Fragmentation Realm Dao fruit with him. However, even though he had broken through to the mid-reckless devil realm, he had yet to consume it because he was worried that his cultivation base was not high enough, and he would waste the power of the Dao fruit. However, if he had the Void-Consuming Pill, he could consume the Void Fragmentation Realm Dao fruit right now without wasting any of its power. In short, this Void-Consuming Pill was something that could help cultivators digest the medicinal power of high-grade pills. Every single one of the 25 pill recipes was a precious item. However, after Ningfan read through all of them, he frowned deeply. It was because all of them had a huge flaw. Every elixir had a flaw. Consuming these pills would cause a cultivator to lose their lifespan. All the pills of the Shedding Orchid sect require a cultivator to lose their lifespan in order to activate their medicinal power. Ningfan could not help but feel a little shocked. He never expected that there would actually be such extreme pills in this world where a cultivator's lifespan would be used in exchange for the medicinal power of the pills. He kept the pill recipes and began to read the ancient scriptures. There were many cultivation methods and magic techniques of the Shedding Orchid sect in the ancient scriptures. Among them, there was a type of magic technique that made Ningfan's eyes light up. However, all of these cultivation methods and magic techniques required the cultivator to lose their lifespan in order to cultivate them. Increasing the speed of cultivation and the power of magic techniques by losing one's lifespan was actually this extreme. The reason why cultivators cultivate is to live forever. However, the Shedding Orchid sect did the opposite. They did not seek for longevity but instead, they reduced their lifespan. There was a scroll in the ancient scriptures which was written by Wei Yang. It contained an introduction about himself and the Shedding Orchid sect. Ningfan carefully read through the scripture, and his eyes became even more solemn. The word shedding in the Shedding Orchid sect definitely did not live up to its name. It was the essence of the cultivators of this sect. The location of the Shedding Orchid sect was indeed the immortal burning valley in the rain world. In ancient times, this sect was a sect that made a living by concocting pills. There was even an 8th Revolution pill refinement master in the sect. This sect was established after the destruction of the divine race, demon race and devil race. However, some of the cultivation methods of the ancient deities were left behind. Occasionally, some of their disciples would attain the great Tao of the ancient deities. Unfortunately, all the cultivation methods of the ancient deities were lost along with the destruction of the Shedding Orchid sect. In the past, Wei Yang was just a 4th grade elder of the Shedding Orchid sect. He did not come into contact with the cultivation methods of the ancient deities, nor did he leave behind any cultivation methods of the ancient deities. According to Ningfan's speculation, the person who sealed Wei Yang's corpse in the divine chests after his death should be an ancient deity cultivator of the Shedding Orchid sect who had achieved great mastery in the divine techniques in the past. The pills concocted by the Shedding Orchid sect were extremely extreme. Their cultivation methods were also extremely extreme. In the history of the Shedding Orchid sect, there had never been a Void Fragmentation Realm cultivator who had a lifespan of more than 10,000 years. It was because the purpose of becoming an immortal was to seek longevity. However, the cultivation method of this sect was obviously the opposite of longevity. In the history of the Shedding Orchid sect, there had never been a Void Fragmentation Realm cultivator who had a lifespan of more than 10,000 years. Ordinary Void Fragmentation Realm cultivators had a lifespan of 100,000 years. As for the Void Fragmentation Realm experts of the Shedding Orchid sect, They all had a short lifespan. Most of the things in the world needed to be sacrificed in order to gain. As for the Shedding Orchid sect, it was obvious that the word sacrifice was too extreme. When other people pursued longevity, they would be eager to have a longer lifespan. The Shedding Orchid sect, on the other hand, paid the price of losing their lifespan to rapidly increase their cultivation base. Of course, the reason why the Shedding Orchid sect gave up their lifespan was probably because they wanted to comprehend the great Tao of sacrifice for gain. The founding ancestor of the Shedding Orchid sect, Old Ancestor Shedding Orchid, had once said two sentences. I don't seek longevity nor immortality. I dare to sacrifice the heavens for my Tao. Let's see if I will sacrifice my lifespan first or the great Tao first. One day, when I succeed in my great Tao, the heavens will not dare to stop me from becoming an immortal. Ning Fan closed the ancient scripture with a hint of respect in his eyes. This old ancestor Shedding Orchid was a ruthless person. He did not seek longevity but only sought to achieve his Tao. Even though it was a little extreme, the more extreme a great Tao was, the more terrifying it would be once it was successfully cultivated. The ancient scripture did not record the fate of old ancestor Shedding Orchid. Perhaps he succeeded in becoming an immortal, or perhaps he died from his lifespan. As for the Shedding Orchid sect that he built with his own hands, it was also destroyed in the end. The Tao of Old Ancestor Shedding Orchid sect contained a kind of determination which most people did not have. Ning Fan could vaguely understand this kind of determination to sacrifice everything. Then he suddenly realized that the cultivation methods and pills of the Shedding Orchid sect might be very compatible with him. In the Black Lightning Tower, Ning Fan had unexpectedly obtained 100,000 years of lifespan. In addition to the 10,000 years of lifespan that he had as a reckless Devil Realm expert, he could live for at least 110,000 years. If he breaks through to the Void Fragmentation Realm, his lifespan will increase by another 90,000 years, reaching 200,000 years. If he becomes an immortal, the lifespan of a cultivator would be boundless and he would be immortal. These 200,000 years of lifespan could be said to be completely useless. Ning Fan thought to himself that he definitely did not need 200,000 years to become an immortal. The remaining lifespan could definitely be used to consume the pills of the Shedding Orchid sect and cultivate the magic techniques of the sect. Previously, he had his eyes on a magic technique of the Shedding Orchid sect. That magic technique was called the Mutual Death Technique. It was a suicidal magic technique that would reduce the lifespan of both the user and the enemy at the same time. Once this technique is used, it would open a barrier and trap both the user and the enemy within it. According to the difference in cultivation level between the user and the enemy, the user would lose a different amount of lifespan at the same time. If their cultivation levels were equal, Ning Fan would lose 1,000 years of lifespan while the enemy would also lose 1,000 years of lifespan. If the enemy's cultivation level was higher than Ning Fan would lose 1,000 years of lifespan while the enemy would only lose 500 years or 300 years, or even lower. This technique was easy to learn, but it was also extremely crazy. The reason why Ning Fan had his eyes on this technique was purely because he wanted to scare others with his inexhaustible lifespan. Just imagine, if Ning Fan were to risk his life against a Void Fragmentation Realm old monster and lose his own lifespan, he would lose tens of thousands of years of lifespan, while the Void Fragmentation Realm old monster would also lose 8 to 10,000 years of lifespan. Wouldn't that scare them to death? Not everyone was like Ning Fan who disliked having a long lifespan. Many Void Fragmentation Realm old monsters had already lived for 70 to 80,000 years. They did not have much lifespan left. It was unknown if they could withstand Ning Fan's intimidation. If this technique is used against Void Pierce stage and Absolute Void stage old monsters, it would be even more vicious. Be it Void Pierce stage or Absolute Void stage experts, all of them only had 10,000 years of lifespan. Besides, most of the Void Pierce stage and Absolute Void stage old monsters were old and did not have much lifespan left. For example, many Absolute Void stage old monsters only had 1 to 2,000 years of lifespan left. Under such circumstances, Ning Fan could exhaust an Absolute Void stage old monster's lifespan by throwing away a few thousand years of lifespan. This technique was really too vicious. For the first time, Ning Fan felt that having a long lifespan was really a good thing. Of course, this technique could not be used to exhaust the enemy's lifespan in an instant. It required time. If the enemy breaks the barrier and escapes during the process of exhausting their lifespan, the technique would fail. This technique could not attack multiple enemies at the same time. It was a weakness. As for immortals who had limitless lifespan, this technique was completely useless. It could only be used against cultivators at the first step of cultivation. This technique is somewhat useful to me. It might have a miraculous effect during critical moments. As for the void-consuming pill, I have to concoct one so that I can consume the void fragmentation realm Dao fruit smoothly. The side effect of consuming a void-consuming pill is enough to consume 1,000 years of lifespan. 1,000 years of lifespan is nothing to me. The only difficulty is the grade of the void-consuming pill. The void-consuming pill is a low-grade 6th revolution pill. If I want to concoct the void-consuming pill, it's best for me to try again after I attain the 6th revolution pill refinement realm. If I concoct it now, I can only concoct a peak grade 5th revolution pill and raise it to the 6th revolution pill refinement realm using the grade upgrading technique. Putting aside the success rate, the quality of the pill will certainly not be as good as after I improve my pill refinement technique. Ning Fan kept the ancient scriptures and seemed to have made up his mind. I've decided. I'll think about concocting the void-consuming pill after I enter the soul-washing pond. Ming Ke is currently purifying the spiritual herbs. She only needs 2 days to purify 42 tufts of spiritual herbs. In other words, she can purify 15 tufts of spiritual herbs in a day. It's enough for me. Before entering the soul-washing pond, I'll wake little you air up in one go. One day later, Ning Fan left the profound Yin world and entered the side hall to look for Ming Quebec. When he saw Ming Ke's actions, he did not know whether to laugh or cry. You little girl. Chapter 503. In just one day, Bright Sparrow had purified 29 stalks of 100,000 years old spiritual herbs. Clearly, she had given it her all. Apart from the 15 spirit herbs that were kept in a jade box and placed to the side, the other purifying spirit herbs were all gnawed on by the little girl, leaving quite a lot of teeth marks on them, and stained with a lot of saliva. Every time this lass purified a stalk of spirit herb, she would take a bite or two to destroy the composition of the spirit herb. It was unknown if she was too greedy or if she thought that Ning Fan would not fight with her for the spiritual herbs that she had eaten before. Was it a child's intention to eat alone? Ning Fan did not know whether to laugh or cry as he kept away 15 tufts of 100,000 years old spiritual herbs. Then he left the rest of the spiritual herbs that were covered in his saliva to Ming Quebec. Take your time and eat. Don't worry, I won't fight with you. Really? You really won't snatch my medicine, baby? The little girl blinked her eyes in disbelief as she took a bite of the 30th spirit herb that she had just purified. Silly girl. Ning Fan shook his head helplessly. Su Yan felt that Ning Fan's current expression was a little funny. I'm going to do something. You guys rest here, and don't run around. As soon as Ning Fan finished speaking, his body flashed and re-entered the profound Yin world. He had gathered 15 100,000-year-old spirit herbs, enough to harmonize the last 3 dark lightning bamboo leaves. Ning Fan stepped on the hazy sky and stepped into the thatched cottage. His body was as light as a breeze and he did not make any sound to avoid disturbing Luo Yu's sleep. Xiao Chen drove his state and formed a small pitch-black cauldron on the table. It was only about a foot tall, a miniature version of the Dan fragmentation cauldron. After taking out tufts of 100,000 years old spiritual herbs, Ning Fan then activated a wisp of devil flame to burn them repeatedly. 2 hours later, the 15 spirit herbs had been preliminarily refined into drops of viscous green liquid, but they had not been extracted yet. This medicinal liquid was not used for alchemy, it was only used to balance the dark thunder bamboo leaves, so there was no need to extract it many times. Ning Fan took out an agate jade bowl that had blood marks on it. He poured drops of viscous medicinal liquid into the jade bowl. Then he placed 3 pieces of dark lightning bamboo leaves into the bowl. Under the stimulation of his magic power, the 3 dark lightning bamboo leaves quickly merged into the medicinal liquid. The originally green medicinal liquid immediately turned as black as ink. Finally, I'm going to wake you up. Ning Fan looked at the beauty in white who was sleeping peacefully. Complicated emotions flashed through his heart. This woman had helped him countless times, and this time, it was time for him to help her. When they first met, Ning Fan was just a vein opening cultivator. Today, however, Ning Fan was a reckless devil king. After a moment of silence, he suddenly picked up the agate jade bowl and drank all of the medicinal liquid in one gulp. The medicinal liquid was extremely bitter, but Ning Fan naturally did not care about it. Thus, he did not swallow it. He approached the bed and gently bent down. He sealed Luo Yu's ice-cold lips with his mouth and transferred all the medicine into Luo Yu's body. The dark lightning bamboo leaf was a divine medicine that could heal the Yuan Shen. As the medicinal liquid entered her body, Luo Yu's soul shone with faint black lightning. Her aura suddenly skyrocketed. Ning Fan immediately straightened his body and wiped his mouth. There was still the unique fragrance of Luo Yu on his lips. The strange feeling in his heart intensified. Ning Fan threw all of his emotions to the back of his mind. He just stared at Luo Yu and observed her rising aura force. Luo Yu's aura force continued to rise, slowly advancing towards the second heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. Her refined and beautiful body gently floated up from the bed and floated in the air. Her aura spread out from her body, and her white dress fluttered in the wind. She was still asleep, but her eyebrows were tightly knitted together. Her forehead was covered in sweat, as if she was suffering from great pain. The pain was still increasing, and Luo Yu's breathing became ragged. She suddenly opened her eyes, which were filled with unconcealable pain. He was only a short moment away from breaking through to the second heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. However, this short moment felt as long as 10,000 years. Is he the one who woke me up? He is Ning Fan? Luo Yu stared at the white-robed young man who was just inches away from her. Even though she had known Ning Fan for many years, this was her first time coming into contact with him in person. When she thought about how it was Ning Fan who spared no effort in searching for medicine to wake her up when she was in a deep slumber, her expression flashed with a hint of complicated emotions. Subsequently, his expression became firm as if he was no longer afraid of pain. At this moment, she only wanted to hide her weakness from him. That was all. Silly brother, thank you for waking me up. However, I'm at a crucial moment of breaking through to the second heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. I won't be greeting you anymore. You should stay 1,000,000 miles away from the grass hut, so that you won't be affected by my aura. Astral wind art. Her tone carried 30% charm and 70% indolence. Her eyes were as deep as the ocean, making it hard for others to see through her true feelings. Her hair was messy, but it did not lose her elegance. She waved her hand and a vast void fragmentation realm aura force turned into astral wind, sweeping Ning Fan out of the grass hut and sending him flying 1,000,000 li away. Ning Fan's heart skipped a beat. The power of the astral wind was close to the second heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. He could not resist it at all, and was sent flying 1,000,000 li away. As soon as the astral wind dissipated and Ning Fan regained his balance, the grass hut that was 1,000,000 li away suddenly emitted waves of magic power that swept across the heavens. At this moment, Luo Yu broke through to the second heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. The aura force that spread out shattered all the hollow space within 1,000,000 li. The grass hut was directly reduced to ashes. If Luo Yu didn't let go of Ning Fan in time, he would certainly be severely injured by that aura force. The sea of magic power gradually calmed down. 1,000,000 li away, a solemn-looking lady in snow-white robes walked towards Ning Fan with light steps with a lazy smile on her face. With just a single step, she crossed the distance of 1,000,000 li. With just a single finger, she dispersed all the residual waves of magic power and healed the hollow space within 1,000,000 li. The feeling of regaining my strength is really good. My good little brother, are you hurt? The lady's expression seemed to be concerned, but she also asked casually. I'm not hurt. It's just a pity about that grass hut. Ning Fan replied with a smile. Then, he raised his hand and took out a tuft of 50,000 years old spiritual herb. As soon as he activated his magic power, The branches and leaves of the spiritual herb grew rapidly. Countless blades of grass grew out from it, and thick vines grew from its roots. When Ning Fan pointed his finger, countless blades of grass and leaves flew away. Plants and trees piled up, and formed a grass hut in front of him. But now, you have a grass hut again. You still have a place to rest. Ning Fan secretly studied Luoyu. The current Luoyu was enchanting and beautiful like a poppy. Every frown and smile of hers could make any man fall for her. However, Ning Fan knew that when Luoyu was unconscious, she should be pure and weak. The personality that Luoyu displayed right now was not her true nature. She is wary of me. No, she is wary of everything in the world. That's why she is hiding her true nature. Ning Fan pondered. While Ning Fan was studying Luoyu, she was also studying him carefully. In the past, Luoyu had always used the yin-yang locket as a medium to communicate with Ning Fan telepathically. This time, when they met face to face, it could really be considered as the first time they met. She still remembered the scene when she first met Ning Fan. At that time, Ning Fan was just a mortal. With the help of the yin-yang locket, he broke through to the first level of the vein-opening realm, and stepped into the world of cultivation. At that time Ning Fan was so weak. Without her help, he could not protect anything, be it his younger brother or the old devil. Today, however, Ning Fan seemed to have become more mature and stronger after several tens of years of traveling, and 500 years of cultivation. The aura force that he revealed when he transformed the grass hut with his finger had clearly reached the void inquiry stage. However, what puzzled Luoyu was that Ning Fan was not a true void inquiry stage cultivator. Ordinary void fragmentation realm experts would not be able to tell that. However, in Luoyu's eyes, Ning Fan's aura was so strange. This is an ancient devil. Luoyu finally realized why Ning Fan's aura force was so strange. It was because the reason why Ning Fan possessed a void inquiry stage aura force was not because of his magic power, but his essence qi. She still remembered that the last time she fell unconscious while trying to save Ning Fan. At that time, Ning Fan had definitely not cultivated to the ancient devil realm yet. During the few months that she was in a coma, Ning Fan had become an ancient devil expert in a single leap. Luoyu was not clear about the exact cultivation realm of an ancient devil. However, she was well aware of how strong an ancient devil was. Ning Fan's aura force was comparable to that of a void inquiry stage expert. However, ordinary void inquiry stage experts would definitely not be a match for Ning Fan. Ning Fan, who cultivated the ancient devil Dao, now definitely had unrivaled combat power among void inquiry stage experts. You have become stronger. She looked at Ning Fan and suddenly felt a trace of loneliness. She did not know why. That feeling of loneliness disappeared in a flash. She regained her lazy expression and teased him. My good little brother. You've spent such precious spiritual herbs to wake me up. How do you want me to repay you? Do you need me to have a dual cultivation session with you? She had always been teasing him, just like how she teased the young Ning Fan in the past. That young man who bore a deep grudge had already grown into a handsome and cold young man. Dual cultivation? You are just a primordial spirit and not a body of flesh and blood. If you have dual cultivation with me, it will hurt the foundation of your primordial spirit. Ning Fan shook his head. Pooh. I was just saying it casually. You really dare to have any ideas about me? How audacious of you. Luoyu pouted in a flirtatious manner. Compared to Su Yan, she was a little less seductive but more charming. Her rebuke was naturally not because she was really angry. Luoyu silently recited the words mid-reckless devil realm in her mind. It was unknown whether she was interested in the ancient devil realm, or she simply wanted to remember some information related to Ning Fan. Ning Fan continued to tease Luoyu for a while, but they were all meaningless topics. No matter how he teased her, the current Luoyu in front of him still had a lazy look on her face. There was no sign of the weakness she had when she was sleeping. Ning Fan felt a little disappointed. It seemed like this Luoyu would not open her heart to him. At first, he still wanted to ask her about her troubles. He wanted to know what kind of pain and helplessness she had in her past, and why she chose to cultivate the Yin transformation technique. However, he could not ask any of his questions now. The yin-yang locket could not see through Luo Yu's thoughts. Moreover, even if he asks these questions, Luo Yu, who had concealed her true feelings, would not tell him the answer either. Ning Fan understood that it was not because Luo Yu did not trust him. If a person has suffered great pain, they would often hide their true feelings and weakness and pretend to be strong. It was not strange at all. Now that you've awakened, are you going to protect me in the future so that I can roam the rain world unhindered? Ning Fan no longer tried to close the distance between them, and casually made a joke. It seemed to be a good idea to maintain the current distance between them. Giggle. If you help me recover my primordial spirit cultivation base, I will naturally protect you. If that Moksha sovereign or the Rain sovereign dares to provoke you, I will help you eliminate all of them. What do you think? Luo Yu said it casually, but she also sounded extremely serious. Only she knew her true feelings. It was just like that day when she saw Great Emperor Mo Luo trying to enslave Ning Fan and risked everything to save him. At that time, she was definitely not just concerned about the relationship of benefits between them. However, she would never admit that kind of feeling. At least before she takes her revenge. She would not allow herself to be weak or happy. She just needed to wear a mask and continue to be lonely. If you're willing to help me, it will be the best. Ning Fan felt relieved. If he has Luo Yu's help, his chances of taking revenge would increase by a lot, and he would not need to worry about protecting himself. With a second heavenly layer void fragmentation realm expert as his bodyguard, his life would not be in danger no matter what he does in the Rain world, unless he goes all out against the Rain Palace. Little Yu Air. No, Luo Yu, I'm going to break through to the 6th Revolution Medicine Soul in a few days. I need to make some preparations. You've also just recovered your second heavenly layer void fragmentation realm cultivation base. It's better for you to rest early. Here are some miscellaneous items. Your thatched cottage has been destroyed. You can use them for now. Ning Fan passed a storage pouch to Luo Yu and stopped calling her Little Yu Air. Luo Yu's body tensed, but she recovered after a while. She still wore a smile on her face. 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Realm? My good little brother, you're really amazing. If you become a 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Master, you will almost be on an equal footing with Void Fragmentation Realm experts. Ning Fan nodded. He was speechless for a moment and did not know what to say. After chatting for a while, he left the profound Yin world to give Luo Yu some space to rest. She had already woken up, but the distance between them seemed to have grown even further. It was a little annoying for him. Chapter 504. Ever since Luo Yu woke up, Ning Fan faintly felt that there was a wall between them. It was a wall that Luo Yu had set up to prevent anyone from entering her heart. Luo Yu still used the yin-yang locket to converse with Ning Fan. However, the frequency of their conversation was not much higher than before. The topics they talked about, other than business, were some useless things. Oh, that Suyan looks quite good. Good little brother, you should quickly pluck her. Your cultivation will definitely progress. Hee, that little pill devil girl also looks quite tender. If a flower blooms and can be plucked, why hasn't my good brother made his move yet? Good brother, even though you're already at the middle reckless devil realm, it's still not enough for you to completely control the yin-yang locket. When will you be able to save me from the locked world? I have been waiting for you to break through to the void fragmentation realm for a very long time. Don't be lazy and quickly pluck the human cauldrons to improve your cultivation base. Big Sister can help you catch a human cauldron. In the primordial heaven palace, Ning Fan was sitting cross-legged in his bedroom. He was adjusting his breath and magic power, preparing himself to enter the soul-washing pond. Luo Yu, on the other hand, was smiling like a pear blossom in the rain. She was spouting a bunch of nonsense. She was not really urging Ning Fan to snatch the cauldron from him. She was just trying to make conversation to tease him. If you are lonely, I don't mind dual cultivating with your primordial spirit. Ning Fan frowned and said. Although he had awakened Luo Yu, their safety had increased dramatically. However, the awakened Luo Yu was sometimes very annoying. Wearing a mask annoyed him. Big Sister is so scared. If you have a way to pluck Big Sister, do it. Big Sister is really lonely in this gloomy world. Moreover, if you pluck this sister, you can also gather the second spirit of the steel of sun and moon. The second spirit. Ning Fan's expression turned serious. He knew that Luo Yu was going to talk to him about serious matters. Yes, second spirit. Do you remember Bei Yao's purple desire spirit body? After you had sex with her, one of the moon-shaped indentations on the steel of sun and moon was filled. Bei Yao's purple desire spirit body is one of the 7 spirit bodies. Big Sister's weak water spirit body is also one of the 7 spirit bodies. The Bei Yao that Luo Yu was referring to was naturally Yuan Yao. Even though she knew Yuan Yao's real name and identity, she chose not to tell him about it. She was still waiting to see how Ning Fan would face Yuan Yao and her daughter. As for the moon-shaped notch that Luo Yu mentioned, Ning Fan already knew about it. Not only did the steel of sun and moon have 7 moon-shaped indentations, but there were also 7 sun-shaped indentations. One of the moon-shaped grooves had turned purple after he had dual cultivated with Yuan Yao. Weak water spirit body. If I dual cultivate with you, I'm sure I can complete the second spirit of the steel of sun and moon. But what I don't know is the benefit of completing the second spirit. Not only were there moon-shaped grooves on the steel of sun and moon, but there were also sun-shaped grooves. You just said that the moon-shaped notch is used to collect the nether souls of women with 7 spirit bodies, so what's the use of the sun-shaped notch? Silly brother, the moon-shaped notch collects female yin spirits, and the sun-shaped notch naturally collects male yang spirits, right? Little brother knows how to pluck women, but I wonder if you dare to pluck men. A Ning Fan choked on her words. According to Luo Yu, in order to gather yang spirits to fill up the sun-shaped notch, she actually needed to pluck a man. This was simply too hardcore. Even though Ning Fan had thrown away his moral integrity ever since he stepped onto the Devil Dao, he would never do it. But for a straight man like him to have a homosexual relationship with another man, he would rather die than do it. Seeing Ning Fan's expression as if he had just swallowed a fly, Luo Yu burst into laughter. Silly brother, you just believe whatever I say. You're so silly that you're adorably adorable. I'm just joking with you. The method to collect male yang spirits doesn't need to pluck them. It's very simple. All you need to do is to find male cultivators with 7 spirit bodies, kill them and extract their yang spirits. This joke isn't funny at all. Ning Fan's face darkened. Luo Yu automatically ignored Ning Fan's expression and continued. The steel of sun and moon is one of the supreme treasures of great Emperor Ancient Chaos. In ancient times, countless true immortals have been suppressed by it. Even many immortal emperors have been killed by it. If you can activate the steel to the state of the second spirit, you just need to activate the inscriptions on the steel to deal with Moksha Sovereign, and you can instantly kill him. Do you want to know the method to increase the power of the steel of sun and moon? Yes. Ning Fan said bluntly. The steel of sun and moon had 2 abilities. One of them was to take away the cultivation methods and magic techniques of the women who have plucked them. The other was to turn it into a great killing weapon to kill the enemy's cultivation base. The steel of sun and moon could deliver a void fragmentation realm attack, but it could only deliver 1 strike. Every time it delivers an attack, it would need to collect flames and fill the steel's soul. It was really troublesome. This drawback should be eliminated. After all, Great Emperor Ancient Chaos used the steel of sun and moon to conquer the world. There were tens of thousands of enemies. It was impossible for the steel to be extinguished with just 1 strike. Your steel of sun and moon has collected Bei Yao's yin spirit. However, only half of the first spirit has been filled. You still need to obtain a yang spirit of 7 spirit bodies to complement each other. By then, as long as you have enough magic power, you can deliver a void fragmentation realm attack at any time. You no longer need to collect flames to replenish the steel's soul. If you collect the second yin spirit and the second yang spirit, the power of the steel of sun and moon will increase from a void fragmentation realm attack to a life immortal realm attack. By then, killing Moksha Sovereign will be as easy as flipping your hand. The steel of sun and moon has a spirit replenishing rule. After collecting the first yin spirit, you must collect the first yang spirit to complement each other. Only then can you proceed to collect the second spirit. I have the weak water spirit body. If I dual cultivate with you, you can easily collect the second Yin spirit. As long as the steel of sun and moon completes the second Yin spirit, even if the Yang spirit is not full, its power can still barely reach the level of a life immortal realm attack. Therefore, before dual cultivating with me, your top priority now is to find the possessor of the 7 Yang physique, kill him and extract his Yang spirit. As soon as Luo Yu finished speaking, she told Ning Fan some information about the 7 Yang physique. All the possessors of the 7 Yang physique were men who were full of energy and had nowhere to vent it. Normally, such men would embark on the path of dual cultivation and become a devil lord who plucked flowers. Besides, the Yang essence of the possessor of the 7 Yang physique was too strong. They were different from ordinary devil lords who plucked flowers. Very few women who had been plucked by the possessor of the 7 Yang physique could survive. As long as Ning Fan paid attention to the devil lords who plucked flowers around him, he would definitely be able to find the possessor of the 7 Yang physique. According to Luo Yu, the existence of the possessor of the 7 Yang physique was purely a scourge of the world. Killing the possessor of the 7 Yang physique would be enforcing justice on behalf of heaven. Ning Fan was speechless. He himself was a devil lord who practiced dual cultivation and a scourge of the world, alright? He had plucked countless women. If he wants to kill the possessor of the 7 Yang physique, he would not use the excuse of enforcing justice on behalf of heaven. He did not need a dignified reason to kill someone and seize their Yang spirit. The cultivators who stepped into the cultivation world were like chess pieces on a chessboard. The moment they are placed on the chessboard, they should be prepared to die. The era had already decayed. In the current cultivation world, only the strong survived and the weak perished. I will pay attention to the possessor of the 7 Yang physique. 3 days later, little Ming Ke broke through to the void refinement realm as expected, and her cultivation base advanced to the void glimpse stage. She soared into the sky. While gnawing on spiritual herbs, she released her ice sense to freeze the tribulation fire of the void glimpse stage heavenly tribulation. At this moment, all the cultivators of the Pill Island were shocked. They were actually fortunate enough to witness the birth of a void refinement realm expert. This was just too unbelievable. 5 days later, the seal on the 6th level of the soul washing pond was lifted. Ning Fan held the storage pouch that venerated Pill gave him in his hand. Under the gaze of tens of thousands of cultivators, he stood at the bank of the soul washing pond. Inside the storage pouch were some pills and spiritual equipment that venerated Pill gave him. The pills were used to protect his medicine soul, while the spiritual equipment was mostly defensive equipment. It seemed like venerated Pill was worried that Ning Fan would not be able to endure the soul-bathing light of the 6th level. Don't worry. During the time you are in the soul-washing pond, I will take good care of little K. Su Yan promised. Brother Biscuit, if you become a 6th revolution biscuit refinement master, you must make more pill biscuits for me. The little pill devil looked forward to it. Master, don't worry. I will do my best to protect the 2 mistresses of the Pill Island. Yang Gu also came to show off his cleverness. Don't worry. Ning Fan nodded at the 2 ladies and cupped his fists at Yang Gu and the other cultivators of the Pill Island. Then he turned into a ray of light and shot into the 10,000 zhang deep pond. The soul washing pond was divided into 7 levels. Ning Fan stood still on the 1st level. Divine light surrounded him. That divine light was the soul bathing light. It had the miraculous effect of tempering one's medicine soul. While bathing in the divine light, Ning Fan felt a slight pain in his medicine soul. Along with this pain, his medicine soul was purifying its impurities bit by bit and improving its quality. Is this the soul bathing light? Ning Fan's eyes were filled with admiration. The cultivators of Pill Island were born with the ability to use the soul bathing light to refine their medicine souls. Most of the other alchemy sects had secret arts similar to the soul cleansing pond that could increase the power of their medicine souls. Other people had their own shortcuts to improve their pill refinement realm, while Ning Fan had his own methods to fight for opportunities. His medicine soul was close to breaking through to the 6th revolution, but he did not have absolute confidence in breaking through to the 6th revolution. However, the look in his eyes was still determined. I want to break through to the 6th revolution pill refinement realm. His tone was firm. This was not a question of whether or not he could do it, but a kind of determination. Hee, it's great that little brother is determined, but I have to remind you that it's really hard to break through to rank 6. The difficulty of this was definitely much higher than breaking through to the void refinement realm. Moreover, if he failed, his medicine soul would be injured by the backlash. There's a saying in the pill refinement world. The 6th revolution is like the heavens and the 7th revolution is like an immortal. Little brother, please count how many void refinement realm cultivators there are in Rain World, and how many 6th revolution pill masters there are. Luo Yu's voice resounded. No one knew if she was trying to discourage him, or if she was trying to motivate him. Was she concerned about him? Is that so? Ning Fan's eyes darkened and he dived into the 2nd level. The soul-bathing light in the 2nd level was obviously a few times stronger than the 1st level. The pain of tempering his medicine soul gradually increased as more impurities were removed from his medicine soul. This bit of pain was naturally insignificant to Ning Fan. After crossing the 3rd level, he directly dived into the 4th level and arrived at the 5th level. The intensity of the soul-bathing light in the 5th level was the limit that a peak 5th revolution pill master could adapt to. Standing on the 5th level, Ning Fan felt as if his medicine soul was being ground by a stone mill. The pain made him frown slightly. It's so painful. Aren't you going to scream? Luo Yu seemed to be a little surprised at Ning Fan's endurance. Is this your first day knowing me? Other than showing how weak I am by screaming, can it make the pain disappear? Ning Fan opened the storage pouch that venerated pill gave him, and took out a forehead protector with golden engravings, and a belt made of crow feathers. The forehead protector was a low-grade profound heaven spiritual equipment. Its grade was equivalent to a low-grade mortal void magic treasure. Its function was to protect one's head. The belt was also a mid-grade profound heaven spiritual equipment. Its function was to protect one's dantian. With Ning Fan's Fuli demon blood, it was a piece of cake for him to assimilate these 2 pieces of spiritual equipment into his body. After assimilating the 2 pieces of spiritual equipment, the pain in his medicine soul immediately lessened. However, the effect of tempering his medicine soul did not decrease. Ning Fan then took out a bottle of pills. There were 12 pills in total. This pill was called Soul Protecting Pill. Its function was to nourish one's medicine soul. After consuming a soul protecting pill, his medicine soul felt cool, and the pain completely disappeared. After making a lot of preparations, Ning Fan regained his composure and dived into the 6th level. The soul-bathing light in the 6th level was extremely powerful. Only a true low-grade 6th revolution pill master could withstand it. Even though Ning Fan had yet to officially break through to the 6th revolution, the power of his medicine soul was already on par with a low-grade 6th revolution pill master. With the protection of the spiritual equipment and pills, he could barely withstand the soul-bathing light in the 6th level. As the divine light continued to temper his medicine soul, Ning Fan sat there for half a month. After half a month of tempering, all the green color on his medicine soul had faded. It had almost turned into a pure black color. The power of his medicine soul had completely reached the standard of the 6th revolution. However, it still could not completely break through to the 6th revolution. The bottleneck of the 6th revolution was like an insurmountable sky. It was cold and merciless, blocking all 5th revolution pill masters from entering it. It's indeed true that the 6th revolution is like heaven. Even with the help of the soul-bathing light in the 6th level, it's still not enough to help me break through to the 6th revolution of my medicine soul. Ning Fan stood up and remained silent for a while. Luo Yu's concerned voice resounded in his ears. Are you going to give up? How is that possible? Is this your first day knowing me? Ning Fan smiled and continued. I want to enter the 7th level. You're really a silly little brother. Luo Yu seemed to have already guessed Ning Fan's intention. The 7th level was located below the 6th level. It had yet to be unsealed. Even though the grand sealing formation was extraordinary, it was not difficult for Ning Fan to break it. Even so, Ning Fan could feel that the soul-bathing light in the 7th level was at least a few times stronger than the one in the 6th level. If he enters the 7th level, he would either have to break through to the 6th revolution pill refinement realm, or suffer severe injuries to his medicine soul. Even a low-grade 6th Revolution Pill master like Venerated Pill would not dare to enter the 7th level for too long. The 6th Revolution is like heaven. If I don't have some determination, how can I break through the 6th Revolution heaven? Wind Mist Finger. With a single finger, he activated the golden-purple wind mist and forcefully tore open the seal of the 7th level. He took a step into the 7th level. In an instant, the powerful soul-bathing light directly rushed towards Ningfan. It was an attack that was comparable to an unrivaled void inquiry stage attack. In just an instant, all the spiritual equipment that Ningfan had refined in his body shattered. He felt a sharp pain in his chest and blood flowed out from his mouth. His eyes were filled with shock. The soul-bathing light directly attacked his spiritual equipment and medicine soul. Even his primordial lightning armor could not defend against it. With a wave of his hand, Ningfan summoned the black stars to protect his body. His injuries were instantly healed. Even though the soul-bathing light had injured him again in an instant, the black stars would always heal him immediately. He took out the soul-protecting pill and consumed the entire bottle of pills, slightly blocking the soul-bathing light of the 7th level. His eyes were filled with determination. The peak 5th Revolution Pill refinement realm was definitely not his limit. He wanted to break through to the 6th Revolution, 7th Revolution and reach the peak of Pill refinement realm. How could he back off now? My good little brother, quickly look. What's that? Luoyu was surprised all of a sudden. Following her guidance, Ningfan carefully spread his spirit sense in the 7th level. No one knew how many years had it been since anyone entered the 7th level. It had been sealed for a long time. At least, Venerated Pill would not dare to enter casually. At the bottom of the pond, there was a pale green lotus in the thick mud. The medicinal age of the lotus was still young. It was only a few tens of years old. However, as soon as Ningfan saw the lotus, his eyes widened in surprise. He stared at it and said with joy, "This is the soul-washing lotus." The soul-washing lotus only grew in places where the soul-bathing light was the densest. It had the magical effect of cleansing and strengthening one's soul. As for the medicinal age of the lotus, it did not have many requirements. The medicinal effects of 100 years soul-washing lotus and a 10,000 years soul-washing lotus were almost the same. Venerated Pill had not entered the soul-washing pond for many years. Thus, he did not know that there was a soul-washing lotus in this place. If Ningfan did not have the courage to enter the 7th level, he naturally would not know that there was a soul-washing lotus here. He still had a Lianqing pill with him. Originally, he was going to use it to break through the bottleneck of the 6th Revolution. Now that he had the soul-washing lotus, his chances of breaking through the shackles of the 6th Revolution were much higher. 6th Revolution. Ningfan's eyes turned serious. He plucked the lotus. The 6th Revolution Pill refinement realm was not far away. Ningfan did not know that the moment he broke through the 7th level, the entire Pill Island was in an uproar. Venerated Pill was holding a 7-colored token in his hand. The 7th color of the token had already lit up. It was the token of the formation of the soul-washing pond. When the 7th color lit up, it meant that the seal of the 7th level had been broken. Venerated Ming has actually entered the 7th level of the soul-washing pond. This is just crazy. The 7th level was a place that even Venerated Pill would not dare to enter recklessly. Unless one was a true mid-6th Revolution Pill refinement master, ordinary people would not dare to endure the soul-bathing light of that level. Someone. I want to go to the soul-washing pond immediately. Once Venerated Ming is severely injured by the soul-bathing light of the 7th level, only I can help him suppress the injury of his medicine soul. Venerated Pill sighed. He did not think that Ningfan had the ability to enter the 7th level. Naturally, he did not know that Ningfan had used the Black Star technique to resist the soul-bathing light of the 7th level. When he arrived at the soul-washing pond with severe injuries, he could not help but be stunned. Ningfan was not sent out of the 7th level by the soul-bathing light as he had imagined. Venerated Ming has actually endured the soul-bathing light of the 7th level. Venerated Pill was extremely shocked. Chapter 505. Beneath the 7th level, Ning Fan sat in the mud with his legs crossed. His surroundings were deathly silent. His body was enveloped by black starlight, which was constantly healing the injuries caused by the soul-bathing light. As he bathed in the divine light, his medicine soul was slowly breaking through to the 6th revolution. Judging from the speed of his breakthrough, it would probably take quite some time for him to break through to the 6th revolution. In the profound Yin world, Luo Yu sat outside the thatched cottage leisurely while combing her long black hair. At first, she was worried that Ning Fan would not be able to endure the divine light of the 7th level. Now, however, she no longer worried about him. The young man who needed her protection in the past had unknowingly grown into a reliable man. While she felt gratified, she also felt a little disappointed. Her long hair cascaded down her back like a waterfall. Her expression was gentle like a young lady who had stayed in her room for a long time. She did not have any of her usual enchanting charm. Her eyes that were as deep as a lake were filled with an indescribable emotion. She put down the comb and touched her rose-like lips with her delicate fingers. Her plain face suddenly blushed. I remember when I was unconscious, that brat kept kissing me. He even fed me medicine with his mouth. He even said that he would protect me. Even though she was in a deep sleep, she could still feel what was happening in the outside world. She remembered how well Ning Fan treated her, and how gentle he was to her. It made her heart flutter, making her feel confused and confused. In the beginning, she helped Ning Fan for mutual benefits. However, gradually, there were some indescribable feelings in the benefits. She had to admit that. When she woke up this time, there was almost a moment where she wanted to open her heart and get closer to Ning Fan. However, when she thought of the hatred of the destruction of her clan, her heart gradually turned cold. All of her feelings were extinguished. Luo Yu, you are no longer the young mistress of the Luo clan in the past. Romance is not suitable for you. Your existence is only to avenge your parents and clan members. Luo Yu's eyes gradually calmed down. She walked into the thatched cottage and stood in front of the bronze mirror on the dressing table. Then, she raised her hands and gently undid the buttons in front of her chest. Her plain white dress that was made of soft silk fell to the ground gently. She took off her tube top and her milky breasts were exposed to the air. She crossed her arms in front of her chest and turned her back to the bronze mirror. The woman in the bronze mirror had skin as white as suet jade. She was a peerless beauty. Those naked curves could make countless men go crazy. But on that fair and clean back, there was a ghastly scar. The scar looked like a ferocious spider. Luo Yu, look at these scars clearly. Have you forgotten the hatred of your clan's extermination? She said to herself. Her long eyelashes trembled slightly as if she was grieving, but in the end, she didn't shed any tears. She was no longer the weak Miss Luo of the past. She had even made up her mind. For the sake of revenge, she would dirty her body and choose the yin-yang transformation as her natal devil art. She would become a demoness who plucked men. Unfortunately, fate played a little joke on her. Before she dirted herself, her primordial spirit was trapped in the yin-yang locket. Luo Yu's expression gradually turned cold as she looked at the sinister scar. She was like a puppet, no longer revealing any emotions. After putting on her clothes again, she was silent for a while before muttering to herself. Luo Shen is dead. The current Luo Yu will not fall in love with anyone. She will definitely. Ning Fan was not aware of the erotic scene in the profound Yin world. He sat cross-legged for 5 days without moving an inch. Faint golden divine light shone on his face, outlining the outline of his determination. His hair was as black as ink and his eyebrows were long enough to reach his temples. The blood-red star on his glabella was shining with a bewitching light. His appearance was neither mediocre nor peerlessly handsome. However, he gave people a sense of security. Suddenly, Ning Fan opened his black eyes. His pupils were like bottomless abysses. After 5 days of refinement, my medicine soul has already reached the limit of the peak 5th revolution. If I consume the Lianqing pill and the soul-washing lotus now, I'm sure I can attain the 6th revolution medicine soul in one go. Ning Fan's tone was calm, but it was filled with confidence. Man proposes but God disposes. In order to attain the 6th revolution pill refinement realm, Ning Fan had made a lot of preparations. The pill sovereign taught him pill refinement techniques for 100 years in his dream, and helped him clear all the obstacles in his path to the sixth revolution. He found the Lianqing pill as a help to break through the bottleneck. He borrowed the soul washing pond as a place to break through the sixth revolution. Moreover, he obtained the soul washing lotus by accident. If he still could not attain the sixth revolution with that, it would be a little unreasonable. The sound of flowing water in the pond made Ningfan's mind even calmer. He took a light breath and took out the Lianqing pill and the soul washing lotus. After pondering for a while, he consumed the Lianqing pill first. This pill was originally concocted by the palace lord of the Scarlet Heaven Palace. However, it turned out to be a useless pill. Fortunately, the little pill devil was heaven-defying and purified the useless pill. However, this pill only had 60 to 70% of the medicinal power of an ordinary Lianqing pill. As the medicinal power of the Lianqing pill spread throughout his body, his medicine soul suddenly felt a throbbing sensation. Ningfan closed his eyes and sensed the changes in his medicine soul. After consuming the Lianqing pill, there seemed to be hundreds of tiny vortexes appearing on his medicine soul. The vortexes were absorbing the medicine soul power in the surroundings. The medicine soul power that was originally loose and thin began to condense with the hundreds of vortexes as the center. Each of the vortexes was like an indestructible city that enclosed the medicine soul power within, preventing it from dispersing. The hundreds of vortexes resonated with each other, just like hundreds of cities that were connected by beacons. Ningfan suddenly opened his eyes. His eyes flashed with a hint of surprise. This Lianqing pill did not cause a quantitative change in the medicine soul power. Instead, it caused a qualitative change. It was a kind of sublimation and solidification. After the sublimation, his chances of attaining the sixth revolution pill refinement realm would undoubtedly increase. The Lianqing pill uses the soul as the city and connects the city with the beacons. It's a pretty good pill. Unfortunately, the medicinal ingredients required to concoct this pill are too difficult to gather. Otherwise, my chances of attaining the sixth revolution will certainly be higher if I concoct a few more pills. Ningfan praised softly. After completely digesting the medicinal power of the Lianqing pill, he continued to consume the soul-washing lotus. It was a green lotus that was almost transparent. He could clearly see the veins of the lotus leaves and petals. When he sniffed it, he could even smell an extremely unique fragrance that refreshed his mind and soul. After consuming it, the green lotus turned into a trace of clear qi that enveloped his medicine soul, giving him a feeling as if a cool breeze was blowing against him. Ningfan calmed his mind and focused on refining the clear qi of the green lotus. The process of refining the clear qi took a total of 10 days. Along with the refinement of the clear qi, the barrier of his sixth revolution medicine soul became thinner and thinner. He was just a step away from breaking through it. The medicine soul power gushed out like a flood. The barrier was gradually unable to stop it. Ningfan's spirit was lifted. He wanted to break through the barrier in one go and attain the sixth revolution. However, just as he was about to break through, a trace of strange heavenly Tao power suddenly rose between heaven and earth and pressed down on him. Ningfan felt a sharp pain in his medicine soul. The medicine soul power that was trying to break through the barrier was completely dispersed by the heavenly Tao power. The heavenly Tao actually forbade Ningfan from breaking through to the sixth revolution. It was unknown how many fifth revolution pill refinement masters were stuck at this step. They were stopped by the heavenly Tao and could not break through to the sixth revolution successfully. Ningfan was slightly surprised. He did not expect that the so-called sixth revolution was like heaven actually meant that the heavenly Tao would stop him at the last step of breaking through to the sixth revolution. I didn't expect that the heavenly Tao would actually stop me. Ningfan frowned and his expression became a little solemn. However, he returned to his optimal cultivation state after just a moment. He put away all his emotions and calmed his mind. Once again, he accumulated the power of his medicine soul and meditated for a day and a night. One day later, Ningfan activated the power of his medicine soul and attempted to break through to the sixth revolution once again. However, he was stopped by the heavenly Tao again and failed. The second day, the third day, the 57th day, After failing for 57 times in a row, Ning Fan still could not break through the barrier of the sixth revolution. Every time he succeeded, the heavenly Tao would stop him. He finally understood how difficult it was to break through to the sixth revolution. Luo Yu did not lie to him. Attaining the sixth revolution pill refinement realm was much more difficult than attaining the void refinement realm. On the 58th day, Ning Fan no longer accumulated the power of his medicine soul. On the 59th day, Ning Fan was still sitting still. On the 60th day, the 61st day. On the 95th day, Ning Fan suddenly opened his eyes and attempted to break through to the sixth revolution pill refinement realm again. However, he still failed. This time, however, he waved his hand and kept a trace of the heavenly Tao's power when he failed. The heavenly Tao's power flowed between his fingers. However, Ning Fan could vaguely hear an unchanging voice from the heavenly Tao telling him something. He calmed himself down and closed his eyes, as if he had forgotten everything in front of him, and entered a state of selflessness. On the 96th day, the 97th day, on the 114th day, Ning Fan seemed to have become one with the heavenly Tao. He finally heard that voice clearly. The soul of a pill refinement cultivator is born in heaven and earth and travels through the past and present. Dan is against the Tao, stealing the fortune of the heavens, which is why the heavens have abandoned it. If I don't have the determination to seize the heavens, I won't be able to transform my soul, and it will be difficult to succeed in the path of alchemy. The voice reverberated in Ning Fan's sea of consciousness for a long time. Suddenly he opened his eyes. His eyes turned dark as if he had comprehended something. Medicinal pills were products that relied on treasures of the heavens and the earth to combine with the energy of the heavens and the earth. They seized the fortune of the heavens and the earth, and they were capable of allowing a cultivator's cultivation to increase and possess a heaven-defying strength. Therefore, in this sense, alchemy was a path that defied the heavens. Presumably, every sixth revolution pill would need to seize the fortune of heaven and earth in order to be successfully concocted. Thus, if one did not have the determination to seize heaven, they would not be able to break through to rank 6. But what did it mean by soul form command? Could it be that in order to break through to the sixth revolution pill refinement realm, he would need to be like venerated pill and transform his medicine soul into another form? If that's the case, venerated pill's medicine soul would transform into a dragon. Then what would Ning Fan's soul transform into? If the 6 revolutions are like the heavens, then I will seize the heavens. However, how to seize the heavens, how to transform the soul? Ning Fan closed his eyes, forgetting the flow of time beside his ears. Suddenly, a scene appeared in front of his eyes. There was once a butterfly that was not afraid of the astral winds. It rushed to the heaven court with its mortal body. There was once a butterfly that was not afraid of immortal emperors. It destroyed one of the immortal emperor's eyes at the cost of its butterfly body being incinerated. There was once a butterfly that was not afraid of the heavens. I am a butterfly. Ning Fan opened his eyes. The power of his medicine soul that was as black as ink suddenly spread out. It was like a vast black ocean that drowned heaven and earth. As Ning Fan willed it, the power of his black medicine soul suddenly turned into tens of thousands of black butterflies. He suddenly stood up. His robes were as white as snow, but he was standing among the cluster of black butterflies. His eyes were as deep as the ocean. He already had absolute confidence that he would break through to the 6th revolution pill refinement realm this time. I want the 6th revolution. The barrier above his medicine soul was forcefully broken at this moment as his medicine soul transformed into butterflies. There was no longer any force that could stop him from breaking through to the 6th revolution pill refinement realm. Under the suppression of the heavenly Tao power, tens of thousands of black butterflies with medicine soul danced in the air and resolutely rushed to the heavens. Each of the black butterflies burned their bodies and forcefully shattered the heavenly Tao power. What kind of determination would be even crazier than the butterflies in his previous life? Ning Fan did not have a special physique, and he did not have unparalleled wisdom. However, he only had this determination. Even the heavens and immortal emperors could not stop him. Bume's strong pitch-black medicine soul, that carried the aura force of a low-grade 6th revolution pill refinement realm spread out from his body. Ning Fan turned into a ray of traveling light and soared into the sky. He rushed to the 6th floor, the 5th floor. On the 1st floor, he finally rushed out of the soul-washing pond and stepped on the heavens. His aura force swept across the entire Pill Island. At this moment, tens of thousands of black butterflies appeared strangely on the Pill Island. Some low-level pill refinement cultivators did not understand what was going on. However, some experienced pill refinement cultivators could already sense how terrifying these black butterflies were. These black butterflies were actually transformed from a medicine soul. The chi of this medicine soul belonged to Ning Fan. This power had reached the low-grade 6th revolution. Oh my god! Venerated Ming's pill refinement realm has actually broken through to the 6th revolution. This is really unexpected. Countless cultivators of the Pill Island exclaimed. Su Yen and Ming Ke were cultivating in their respective rooms. When they sensed the familiar chi of this medicine soul, both of them smiled knowingly. They had always believed that Ning Fan could attain the 6th revolution pill refinement realm. And he really did it. From today onwards, Ning Fan was the 8th 6th revolution pill refinement master in the Rain Immortal world. From today onwards, with just his identity as a 6th revolution pill refinement master, even void fragmentation realm old monsters would have to be polite to him. For months had passed. Venerated Pill's injuries had already recovered by 20 to 30%. He was now recuperating in the stone chamber. When he sensed that the Pill Island was surrounded by black butterflies, Venerated Pill's eyes were filled with astonishment. He was more astonished than anyone else. Not only did he sense that Ning Fan's pill refinement realm had broken through to the 6th revolution, but he also discovered that the aura force of Ning Fan's medicine soul was so strong that it was unimaginable. It even made his dragon-shaped medicine soul tremble a little. Even though the butterflies were small and weak, they had the most persistent madness which was unstoppable. What shocked Venerated Pill the most was that the power of Ning Fan's medicine soul was at least 30% stronger than Venerated Pill's, even though he had just attained the low-grade 6th revolution medicine soul. He has just broken through to the 6th revolution, but his medicine soul has actually become so strong. Venerated Pill's face was filled with astonishment. He turned into a ray of traveling light and rushed out of the stone chamber, soaring into the sky. At the moment when he soared into the sky, he saw Ning Fan standing in midair. Their eyes met. Fellow Taoist, are you willing to exchange some battle soul techniques with me? Venerated Pill gritted his teeth. He was eager to find out whether Ning Fan's medicine soul was 30% stronger than his. Your injuries? Ning Fan said with concern. My injuries are physical injuries. If I only use my medicine soul to spar, it won't affect my physical injuries. Fellow Taoist, please spar with me using battle soul techniques. Venerated Pill said stubbornly. All right. Ning Fan no longer rejected Venerated Pill's offer. He moved a distance of 1,000 zhang away from Venerated Pill. He also wanted to know how strong his medicine soul had become after breaking through to the 6th revolution. Venerated Pill patted the top of his head, and his soul transformed into a black dragon. The black dragon spat out black flames and attacked Ning Fan. Ning Fan's eyes swept across the area. His black medicine soul spread out like a bolt of cold lightning, turning into tens of thousands of black butterflies. His aura force made Venerated Pill's heart skip a beat. Burn! Ning Fan only uttered a single word. However, the black butterflies burned themselves and charged towards the black dragon. Each of the black butterflies carried an unerasable obsession. They were so crazy that they wanted to compete with heaven and earth. Rumble! The black dragon collided with the countless black butterflies. The result was that the black dragon was smashed into pieces. As for the black butterflies that filled the sky, there were still more than half of them left. Venerated Pill's eyes widened in shock. Through this collision, he discovered to his surprise that Ning Fan's medicine soul was not just 30% stronger than his. It was clearly twice as strong as his. Such a powerful medicine soul can only be possessed by some pill refinement masters who are on the verge of breaking through to the mid-6th revolution pill refinement realm. Could it be that this young man's medicine soul is already comparable to those half-step mid-6th revolution pill refinement realm pill refinement masters, even though he has just broken through to the 6th revolution? This young man has such a shocking talent in pill refinement. Venerated Pill's eyes flashed with a hint of disappointment. That disappointment was the helplessness of losing to Ning Fan. Even though he had already expected that Ning Fan's medicine soul would surpass his after breaking through to the 6th revolution, he did not expect that Ning Fan's medicine soul would be twice as strong as his. Countless cultivators of the Pill Island looked up at the battle of medicine souls, just now in astonishment. Their island lord, the 7th-ranked venerated Pill of the Rain World, had actually lost to Ning Fan in terms of the strength of his medicine soul. Master, Brother Biscuit. Su Yin and Ming Ke rose into the sky one after another. Their faces were filled with unconcealable joy. This joy was naturally because Ning Fan had broken through to the 6th revolution pill refinement realm. However, Ning Fan still keenly sensed that there was a hint of worry hidden within their joy. Before Ning Fan could talk to the two ladies, venerated Pill suddenly sighed. Sigh. Fellow Taoists' breakthrough to the 6th revolution pill refinement realm is supposed to be a joyous occasion. However, I still have a piece of bad news to tell fellow Taoist. Bad news? Ning Fan was surprised. During the 4 months when I was breaking through to the 6th revolution pill refinement realm, I received a message from Dong Su and Ju Qing in the Giant Devil Clan. They asked me to lend them a hand. I'm afraid the Giant Devil Clan has encountered some trouble. The Giant Devil Clan has encountered some trouble. Ning Fan's eyes tensed up. The joy he felt from breaking through to the 6th revolution pill refinement realm had completely faded away. Su Qiuling, Yu Lingkong and Fun Qi were still in the Giant Devil Clan. If the Giant Devil Clan is in trouble, would the 3 of them be in danger? There was also his sister-in-law, Feng Shuyan. Fellow Taoist, don't worry. Even though the Giant Devil Clan has encountered some trouble, it is not a life and death crisis. Venerated Pill wanted to say something but hesitated. Fellow Taoist, please tell me what exactly happened to the Giant Devil Clan. After hearing that it was not a life and death crisis, Ning Fan's expression became slightly relieved. That's right. The Giant Devil Clan has the 8 ancestors at the very least, and Yu Lingkong is also a void refinement realm expert. As long as a void fragmentation realm expert of the Rain World does not appear, the Giant Devil Clan would not face any life-threatening crisis at all. Other than a freak like Ning Fan, there was no other cultivator below the void fragmentation realm who could suppress the 4 devil clans of the Hidden Ocean. Obviously, the void fragmentation realm old monsters were busy with their own cultivation and would not be interested in the Giant Devil Clan. The trouble that the Giant Devil Clan is facing is only related to one person. Currently, I don't know how many forces of the Internal Sea have gathered in the Giant Devil Clan to ask for one person. Who? The daughter of Ju Qing, the leader of the Giant Devil Clan, Feng Shuyan. It was rumored that Feng Shuyan was the devil concubine of the Giant Devil Clan, and that she possessed the ability to decipher the words on the devil statue slate. Rumor has it that the Giant Devil Clan has a devil statue slate. Countless forces gathered in the Giant Devil Clan and threatened Ju Qing to hand over his beloved daughter and the devil statue slate. Decipher the slate of the devil statue. Ning Fan was so angry that he laughed. The devil chi of the 4 devil statue slate had already been extracted by Ning Fan, causing him to revert to his ancestral form and become a devil. Thus, the slate was no longer useful. It was funny that there were still some people who were kept in the dark and were plotting against each other for the slate. They even went to look for trouble with Feng Shuyan. Some people were just too restless. Ning Fan could even guess with his toes that the Ghost Eye Clan and the Lanling sect were definitely involved in this matter. After all, in the Internal Sea, these 2 forces were the ones who wanted to obtain the slate and decipher it the most. As for the other small forces, they did not know that the Giant Devil Clan still had the 8 old men who wouldn't die. Perhaps they just wanted to follow the crowd and get some leftovers. Be it the 8 ancestors of the Giant Devil Clan, King Lanling or Marquis Yugui, none of them were good people. Ning Fan would like to see how fearful those people would be when he steps into the Giant Devil Clan again with his current cultivation base. As for Feng Shuyan, of course he would protect her. He would like to see who would dare to touch Feng Shuyan with him around. Chapter 506. To Ning Fan, the level of cultivation resources in the Endless Sea was not high enough. It was no longer suitable to be a place to further improve his cultivation base. It had been 40 years since Ning Fan left Yu country. Now that his pill refinement mastery had broken through to the 6th revolution, and his cultivation base had broken through to the reckless devil realm, he had already made up his mind to leave Yu country. But before he left, there were some old debts that he had to settle. If I don't take the medicine, will brother-in-law be sad? Then I'll take the medicine. Brother-in-law, only you can find me, only you can hear my heart. The figure of a stubborn and capricious girl appeared in front of Ning Fan's eyes. Since Feng Shuiyan had called him brother-in-law, he would not let her call him that in vain. Since she was in trouble, the giant demon clan naturally had to return as soon as possible. Fellow Taoist Dan, I have some ties with the giant devil clan, so I can't just ignore Feng Shuiyan. I must return to the giant devil clan immediately. It was all thanks to the soul-washing pool of the Pill Island that I was able to break through to the 6th revolution pill refinement realm in the past 4 months. I will remember this favor and repay it in the future. Ning Fan signaled Su Yan and Ming Ke with his eyes. He was actually going to head straight to the giant devil clan without preparing to stabilize his 6th revolution pill refinement realm. Venerated Pill was slightly stunned. Clearly, he did not expect Ning Fan to leave in such a hurry after hearing that the giant devil clan was in trouble. Although it was not necessary to stabilize one's cultivation level when one's pill refinement broke through to the 6th revolution, one could let it stabilize on its own, but it would take a lot more time. Generally speaking, stabilizing one's alchemy realm immediately after a breakthrough in alchemy was naturally the best choice. Ning Fan did not hesitate to give up stabilizing his pill refinement realm in order to rush back to the giant devil clan. Obviously, he was extremely worried about Feng Shuiyan. Even though Venerated Pill had heard that Ning Fan had some friendship with the giant devil clan, he did not expect them to have such a deep relationship. You jest, fellow Taoist. Fellow Taoist has saved my life, so borrowing the soul cleansing pond is not worth mentioning. However, fellow Taoist doesn't need to be in a hurry to leave. This old man has received help from Dong Su and Ju Qing, so I naturally have to go to the giant demon clan. How about you allow this old man to go with you? Same trade? Fellow Taoist Dan seems to have yet to recover from his injuries, right? Ning Fan was also stunned. Haha, this old man has a good relationship with Dong Su and Ju Qing. Since the two of them have encountered trouble, this old man will naturally do his best to help them. So what if they suffer some injuries? Furthermore, I only need to show my face and not fight with anyone. This old man is a 6th revolution pill refinement master. No matter which expert comes to cause trouble for the giant devil clan, they will have to give this old man face. Venerated Alchemy's words were filled with sincerity and pride. Ning Fan gave Venerated Dan a deep look. Even though this person was severely injured, he still insisted on helping his good friend. Putting aside whether he could be of help or not, his sincerity alone was enough to move Ning Fan's heart. This Venerated Pill was someone worth befriending. Although Venerated Dan's cultivation level was not high, he was still the 7th best alchemist in the Rain Immortal world. With his reputation, everyone would have to give him face. Bringing him along would more or less be of some use. Good. I will go with fellow Taoist Dan to the giant devil clan. Let's set off immediately. Fellow Taoist, don't be in such a hurry. This old man has 2 items that I'd like to give to you. Venerated Pill patted his storage pouch and took out 2 items. One of them was a sandalwood box with a low-grade 6th revolution pill inside. The first was an ancient golden sword. The body of the sword was wide, but it didn't have a sharp edge. Instead, there were many grooves on the body of the sword. Perhaps due to its age, the ancient sword was damaged in many places, and its power was much weaker than before. Ning Fan received the pill box and sniffed the pill fragrance. At first he was slightly surprised. When he looked at the ancient golden sword again, he was slightly surprised. This is soul-nurturing pill. As for this ancient golden sword, there's no mistaking it. It's an escaping sword. Fellow Taoist, you have good eyesight. Venerated Pill said in admiration. The soul-nurturing pill was an ancient pill. Its effect was to stabilize one's medicine soul. The pill recipe had long been lost. Venerated Pill did not know how to concoct it. This pill was picked up in the immortal Burning Valley. As for the ancient golden sword, it was an escaping sword. The escaping sword was a special flying sword that only existed in ancient times. As its name suggested, it only had one function, and that was to fly. It couldn't be used as a weapon to attack or kill enemies. The escaping sword focused all of its power into its speed. Only sword cultivators could control it. If one wants to push the speed of the escaping sword to its maximum, a lot of immortal jade would be required to activate it. Naturally, the grooves were filled with immortal jade. Both of these items were ancient items. Even Venerated Pill could not recognize their origins at first glance when he picked them up in the past. The fact that Ning Fan was able to recognize them at first glance was enough to prove that he had incredible eyesight. If fellow Taoist consumes the soul-nurturing pill, you can immediately stabilize your medicine soul, without having to go into seclusion. The maximum speed of this escaping sword is almost infinitely close to that of a void fragmentation realm expert. Of course, the amount of immortal jade needed to activate it to its maximum speed is not small. Then, I'll give these 2 items to fellow Taoist. Thank you for your gift, fellow Taoist. Ning Fan consumed the soul-nurturing pill. As the power of the pill digested, his medicine soul stabilized at an unbelievable speed. Holding the ancient golden sword in his hand, Ning Fan's eyes flashed with surprise. With this sword, it certainly wouldn't take too long for him to return to the giant devil clan. This ancient golden sword can only carry a limited number of cultivators at a time. If there are too many people, its speed will become slower. How about this? Let Huang Tingzi and Yang Gu ride the ancient sword with us. As for the other Pill Island cultivators, those whose cultivation bases are higher than the Gold Core realm, prepare yourselves and head to the giant devil clan on your own. Venerated Pill gave an order to the cultivators of Pill Island. From the looks of it, he was going to use all of Pill Island's strength to assist the giant devil clan. Zhu Qing is this old man's best friend. He only has one daughter. If anyone wants to touch his daughter, they'll have to ask this old man for permission first. Venerated Pill's tone was resolute. Ning Fan sighed with emotion. In this world, there were not many people who would go this far for their friends. Venerated Pill was one of them. Old Ancestor Dong Su, Venerable Giant, Venerable Pill Dan Songzi. To be able to get to know these 3 people in this life, Ning Fan's death would not be in vain. Since Venerated Pill was willing to bring all the experts on the island to assist the giant devil clan, Ning Fan was also willing to lend a hand. Golden Core cultivators are too slow. I don't know how long it will be before I reach the giant demon clan. I have a way to move the entire Pill Island to the giant devil clan. Oh, is there a way? Venerated Pill was very interested. Bring the entire Pill Island with you. Let's go. We'll head to the giant devil clan together. Ning Fan patted his storage pouch and took out a blood-red paper umbrella. As he activated his magic power, the paper umbrella opened and emitted circles of faint red halos of spirit wheels. The halos spread to the entire Pill Island. The entire island trembled, and was actually kept into the world inside the umbrella. In the world inside the umbrella, a massive island fell from the sky and landed on the churning sea of blood. All the cultivators of the Pill Island were stunned. This world was too crazy. They had actually been taken away by someone along with their island. In the outside world, Huang Tingzi and Yang Gu were the only 2 people who were not taken away by Ning Fan. The Pill Island beneath their feet disappeared in an instant. All that was left was a boundless and empty sea. The seawater was as dark as ink. A small Kiliacosm cosmos treasure. Besides, this cosmos treasure is a little extraordinary. Venerated Pill's eyes widened in surprise. Small Kiliacosm cosmos treasures were rare in the first place. However, he had seen a few of them before. Ordinary small Kiliacosm cosmos treasures could only be kept into them when they were within a certain distance from the target. There had never been a small Kiliacosm cosmos treasure that was as domineering as this blood umbrella. As soon as the umbrella opened, it could forcefully take away an entire island. Venerated Pill naturally did not know that this blood umbrella was engraved with an ancient demon spirit wheel with immeasurable power. It was an attack-type small Kiliacosm Cosmos treasure. Not only could it forcefully keep the enemy into its world, but it could also use the blood sea in the world inside the umbrella to severely injure the enemy. This treasure was heaven-defying. Let's go. Ning Fan, of course, would not explain too much to Venerated Pill. He just cast a magic seal on the blood umbrella to suppress the attack of the blood sea in the world inside the umbrella. In this way, the cultivators of the Pill Island who were kept into the umbrella world would not be in any danger. All they needed to do was to wait for Ning Fan to arrive at the giant devil clan and retrieve the Pill Island. Ning Fan raised his hand and summoned the ancient golden sword. The ancient sword grew in the wind and grew to 100 zhang in size. Huang Tingzi and Yang Gu stood at the back of the sword, protecting Venerated Pill and helping him heal his injuries. Ning Fan, on the other hand, stood on the tip of the ancient sword. Behind him, Su Yan and Ming Ke were admiring the ancient sword with great interest. Can this golden sword really travel at a speed that is infinitely close to the void fragmentation realm? Ming Ke asked in disbelief. I've seen it. The maximum speed of this sword is indeed infinitely close to the void fragmentation realm. However, the amount of immortal jade it consumes is a little terrifying. Ning Fan was a sword cultivator himself. Thus, he fulfilled the requirements to control the ancient sword. After filling the groove of the sword with 5 million immortal jade, the ancient sword turned into a ray of golden light, and instantly flew 8 to 900,000 li towards the west. Its speed was infinitely close to the speed of an ordinary void fragmentation realm expert, who could travel 1 million li in a breath. It was indeed extremely fast. What a fast speed! Su Yan said in astonishment while stroking the hair on her temples that were messed up by the wind. She would always see some incredible things by following Ning Fan's side. Silly little brother, you've really picked up a treasure. This escaping sword is severely damaged. Its speed can't even reach 30 to 40% of its original speed. I have a way to completely repair this escaping sword. When the time comes, your speed will be faster than even the Rain Sovereign and Moksha Sovereign. Luo Yu's words were filled with temptation in his mind. How do I repair it? Ning Fan was rather interested in this ancient sword. If he can repair it, wouldn't he be able to travel several million li, and his speed could even surpass the 5th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm? With such speed, he could do many things. As long as you can find a fist-sized piece of green astral gold, I have a way to repair it for you. Green astral gold. And it has to be the size of a fist. Little Yu'er, you always like to joke with me. Ning Fan did not know whether to laugh or cry. Green astral gold was a type of supreme-grade spiritual, or used to refine flying escaping magic treasures. It was extremely rare. A piece of green astral gold the size of a fingernail already had an astronomical price. It could make countless void fragmentation realm old monsters fight for it. Getting him a fist-sized piece of green astral gold was not much easier than breaking through to the void fragmentation realm. Indeed, the matter of repairing the ancient golden sword could only be thought of and not forced. Qi Ning Fan no longer said anything and carefully controlled the ancient golden sword. The speed of the sword was extremely fast. The burden on the spirit sense of the sword cultivator controlling it was not small. In just 1 hour, the ancient golden sword had already traveled a distance of 10 million li. However, Ning Fan, who was controlling the ancient sword, felt as if he had just traveled a few 100,000 li. His spirit sense was unprecedentedly exhausted. Is this the price of flying across realms? What made Ning Fan even more speechless was that the 5 million immortal jade that he used to fill the ancient golden sword had already been used up after traveling a distance of 10 million li. This ancient sword really consumes too much immortal jade, doesn't it? After some calculations, he realized that it would cost 1 immortal jade to travel every 2 li. It's really too expensive. The Pill Island was at least a few billion li away from the giant devil clan. If he uses the ancient sword to travel the entire distance, he would need to spend several billion immortal jade. Ning Fan glanced at Venerated Pill speechlessly, and happened to see Venerated Pill's unscrupulous smile. No wonder Venerated Pill was willing to give this sword to Ning Fan. It turned out that this sword was too expensive and venerated Pill could not afford to maintain it. Forget it. I don't lack money anyway. He already had a few billion immortal jade on him. Besides that, he still had more than 10,000 Dao crystals, which was equivalent to more than 50 billion immortal jade. Perhaps this ancient golden sword was very expensive, but Ning Fan was confident that he could maintain it. Moreover, Ning Fan also realized that when he was controlling the ancient sword to fly across realms, his spirit sense actually experienced a slight improvement due to the overuse of his spirit sense. Even though the improvement of his spirit sense was insignificant, it was extremely precious to Ning Fan, whose spirit sense was close to the void inquiry stage. According to Ning Fan's calculation, as long as he controls the sword with his spirit sense and uses it to fly, his spirit sense would be able to break through to the void inquiry stage before he arrives at the giant devil clan. If that's the case, I didn't spend the money in vain. Ning Fan flicked his sleeve and replenished another 5 million immortal jade. The ancient sword turned into a ray of golden light again, and flew across the vast sky. It was the first time Huang Tingzi and Yang Gu had seen such a fast speed in their lives. The two of them could also tell how much burden it would put on their spirit sense in order to increase the speed of the ancient sword to the void fragmentation realm. Ordinary sword cultivators would definitely not be able to withstand such a burden on their spirit sense. However, Ning Fan did. Huang Tingzi was so shocked that he did not know what to say. Yang Gu, on the other hand, was filled with pride. His master was Ning Fan. He was naturally proud of the fact that Ning Fan could control the ancient sword freely. The ancient sword was burning money along the way without stopping. It could cover a distance of 250 million li in a day. Ning Fan estimated that with this speed, he would only need around 10 days to return to the giant devil clan. The sword light traveled all the way to the west. It was so shocking that it naturally frightened countless people. On a lonely black island in the Black Mountain Sea, a group of profound cultivation realm cultivators was fighting against another group of devil cultivators. Many of them had already died. There were only around 20 devil cultivators. All of them were cultivators from the internal endless sea. Most of them were gold core realm cultivators. There was only one early nascent soul realm cultivator in charge. As for the profound cultivation realm cultivators, there were around 50 of them. All of them were cultivators from the 800 cultivation countries. There were 2 mid-nascent soul realm cultivators in charge. The reason why the two groups of people were fighting against each other was because they had discovered an ancient grave of a divine transformation realm expert on this island. Both of them wanted to fight for the treasure. Judging from the forces of both parties, it was obvious that the profound cultivation realm cultivators had an absolute chance of winning. Damn it! Why do you cultivators from the 800 cultivation countries want to come to the endless sea and fight against us devil cultivators for the treasure? That early nascent soul realm devil cultivator could not defeat the 2 mid-nascent soul realm profound cultivation realm cultivators. His life was in danger. Thus he could not help but fly into a rage out of humiliation. Humph. The reason why we came all the way to the endless sea is obviously to get a share of the loot from the giant devil clan. As long as we force the giant devil clan to hand over the devil statue slate and Feng Shuiyan, the 2 nascent soul realm cultivators of the righteous path were sneering. Suddenly, a gigantic golden sword light broke through the sea at an unbelievable speed. Wherever the sword light passed, the Black Sea was completely cut into half. That sword light abruptly stopped in the sky above the Black Mountain Island. Standing on the tip of the sword was a white-robed young man with a cold expression. He was none other than Ning Fan. Ning Fan did not expect that he would encounter the profound cultivation realm cultivators of the 800 cultivation countries along the way to the giant devil clan. It seemed like there would be a lot of experts heading to the giant devil clan this time. With so many experts oppressing the giant devil clan, Ning Fan wondered if Feng Shuiyan would be in danger. Who are you? Could it be that you also want to fight for the divine transformation realm ancient grave with us? Do you know who we are? We are the barbarian Dao sect of the Southern Kingdom. You better not interfere in our business. One of the nascent soul realm cultivators said with a lack of confidence. He could tell that Ning Fan was strong, but he could not tell exactly how strong he was. Therefore, he only reported his clan's background in hopes of slightly intimidating Ning Fan. Lord Man King of their barbarian Dao sect was a Void Glimpse stage expert. As soon as the name of a Void Glimpse stage expert was announced, all the Divine Transformation Realm old monsters would be scared witless. I don't have any interest in you people killing people and seizing their treasures. However, how dare you ants have the guts to covet Feng Shuiyan? Ning Fan let out a cold snort. A monstrous aura force rose from his body, enveloping all 50 profound cultivators within it. What kind of fiendish aura was that? How many people did he have to kill to have such a terrifying aura? This aura was too shocking, and it wasn't something they could resist at all. The golden cores of the mystic cultivators of the golden core realm shattered one after another, and they fell to the ground dead. The nascent souls of the 2 nascent soul mystic cultivators were also crushed. They vomited blood and died. However, they would rather die than believe that there is such a ruthless person in the world who could kill an original leveled powerhouse with his chi. Was this really the Endless Sea? Isn't there only the 7 venerated beings in the internal sea of the Endless Sea? Aren't there only 7 half-step void refinement realm experts in the Endless Sea? It was clear that this batch of barbarian Dao sect's nascent soul and golden core cultivators had no idea how terrifying the Endless Sea was. On the other hand, the 20-plus devil cultivators on the island, be it the gold core realm or the nascent soul realm, all of them were so scared that they wet their pants the moment they saw Ning Fan's face. Revered Ming. They were nearly scared to death. They had never thought that they would meet Ning Fan in person. Who was Ning Fan? He was a peerless devil lord who killed wherever he went. Even in the Endless Sea where people were numb to killing, there wasn't anyone as ruthless as Ning Fan. The 20-plus devil cultivators immediately knelt down and kowtowed to the ancient golden sword in the sky, begging for mercy. Revered Ming, please spare our lives. If Revered Ming wants the Divine Transformation Realm ancient tomb on this island, we certainly won't dare to snatch it from you. Su Ying giggled. Ming Ke also found it very interesting. Ning Fan, on the other hand, was a little speechless. Was he really that scary? He could scare the devil cultivators of the internal sea the moment he showed himself. Besides, what kind of person was Ning Fan? Why would he snatch a Divine Transformation Realm immortal cave from a group of low-grade cultivators? Was he out of his mind? All of you, just disperse. Ning Fan was speechless. He activated the ancient golden sword and instantly flew to a distance of 8 to 900,000 li, disappearing without a trace. Even though he had killed a lot of people, it was not to the extent where he would kill every single person he saw. The reason why he killed those profound cultivators of the barbarian Dao sect was just because they came to the internal sea with impure intentions. They were here to plot against Feng Shuiyan. So the barbarian Dao sect has also joined the muddy waters of the giant devil clan. It seems like the forces that have come to the giant devil clan this time are far more than what I have imagined. Ning Fan flew away, leaving the group of devil cultivators on the Black Mountain Island looking at each other in dismay. They stared at Ning Fan's golden sword light with eyes filled with respect and admiration. They had never seen such a fast-flying sword in their entire lives. Revered Ming is really too incredible. However, before he left, he seemed to have given them an order to disperse. It was just a casual sentence from him. However, when the 20-plus devil cultivators heard it, none of them dared to neglect it. If Revered Ming wants us to disperse, does it mean that he doesn't allow us to dig the grave of this Divine Transformation Realm senior? One of the devil cultivators said timidly. That makes sense. Revered Ming might really not allow us to dig the grave. Could it be that Revered Ming has some kind of relationship with this deceased Divine Transformation Realm senior? That's why he doesn't allow us to dig the grave? An experienced devil cultivator analyzed. But this is the ancient grave of a Divine Transformation Realm cultivator. There might be many treasures inside. A short devil cultivator was unwilling to give up on digging the grave. Idiots. Since Revered Ming wants us to disperse, we must disperse. Whoever dares to dig the grave without permission will be offending Revered Ming. How many lives do you have to dare to offend Revered Ming? The nascent soul realm devil cultivator spoke. Everyone recalled the terrifying scene where Ning Fan killed a nascent soul realm cultivator with his aura force. Thus, all the devil cultivators nodded their heads like chickens pecking rice and unanimously agreed to give up on digging the grave. They had no choice. Ning Fan's ferocious reputation was too terrifying. None of them dared to ignore a simple order from him. From today onwards, we must be good people and remember revered Ming's order. Digging graves is shameful. We are not allowed to dig graves. Yes, digging graves is shameful. We are not allowed to dig graves. All the devil cultivators said solemnly. They looked at the direction of the grave of the divine transformation realm ancient cultivator and spat out a mouthful of saliva. It was as if the divine transformation realm ancient grave that contained treasures was just an insignificant trash in the eyes of these devil cultivators. If the deceased divine transformation realm cultivator knew that his grave had become trash in the eyes of low-grade cultivators, would he be so angry that smoke would come out of his 7 orifices? You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.